All right. Thanks for checking us. Episode 25, Wilkie and Bren, touching tips.
What's up, guys?
Sup? I'm fresh off doing a podcast as a warm-up today over at our spot in Pawtucket on Newport Avenue. It used to be called T.O.'s Bar and Grill. I don't know if you do
Terrell Owens?
No, but I don't know if you do too much driving up Newport Avenue if you're not from Pawtucket. But
No.
the place was pretty dope. The whole time that Jake was here, he kept asking me like what the spot was to go watch the game around here, and I didn't really
it's our spot.
I didn't really have a good answer for him. It is our spot.
Yeah.
Like they have a maybe it's like a fucking 15-person wraparound bar with like 4 high tops behind that, and then it goes into like another room, and they have, I don't know, maybe like a 10 to 15-person kind of like community table, fucking TVs all around the place. And decor is sort of like, it reminded me of like my
Shenanigans?
my room in high school.
Yeah.
Like where I just had like magazine like pages everywhere, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's not as like dirtbag as that, but it's all like sports characters,
Yeah.
you know, like mainly Boston stuff, but they got like other people sprinkled in. Like I did notice that the famous Bobby Orr
The
diving goal
Yeah.
was like a touching Peyton Manning. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
What are we doing here? But if that's my biggest complaint, so be it. It seemed like the spot to go watch the game. If you're in Pawtucket, check them out.
Yeah.
Our spot.
All right.
So, yeah, caught up with our boy Jameson. He was doing all right. He's talking about UFC.
Yeah.
He
Just men rolling around with each other.
Who? Me and
UFC?
James? Oh, yeah, men rolling around.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
You ever see that meme where it's like some guy who's like, they're about to fight, and then all of a sudden the dude just like hits the deck and starts like crab walking towards the other guy? It's like Brazilian jiu-jitsu shit.
I feel like I remember that from Bloodsport.
Yeah.
There's like one dude that's
The
like
monkey man?
Yeah, he's like bouncing all around.
Yeah.
I believe the villain ends up beating him
He does.
eventually.
Yeah.
It's a
Well,
sad,
that was
sad
our
moment.
other boy, Hyde Cabbage. He was the original Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy. Not that he ever knew how to do it, but that was his. Anytime I would go to like beat his ass, he would just flop on his back and then flail his legs at me like a fucking child. It was funny.
That's pretty funny. I can't imagine Ryan doing that.
Well, he did it.
That's funny that you have a since childhood relationship with him.
Yeah.
I don't think I have any. I don't have any friends that are in my immediate.
Friend group?
I see you every. No, I'm still friends with some of these guys, but I don't see them. They all live in Florida.
Yeah.
Essentially, you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
like anybody that I did any like gay childhood boy shit with
Is gone?
Yeah.
No,
No, they're not gone.
Well,
They're
they're not in your
Yeah.
vicinity.
like those are the guys that we almost got trapped at that
at the gay
at the
gay
wrestling
house.
Yes, the gay house. That's what we should call it. Yeah. I don't know. Saw James said I still want to get Coop on here. I mean, he's probably been in the industry longer
Yeah.
than I have. I don't know when he started, but he's a Fridays connoisseur. We were talking about all of the disgusting things that we did.
At TGI Fridays.
Yeah.
Is that where you worked with him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but he worked there like way before I did. Like he worked there back in the day when you wore flair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
there's
the pins and buttons.
Yeah,
and
like
shit.
there's like pictures of Coop looking like Fridays from like Office Space.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
I've
saying?
had some extreme fajitas, some pizza
Yes.
shooters.
Yes.
Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Bud Days.
I do believe you would get your ass beat if you said that at my job.
Hey.
I haven't seen that movie in a while.
It still holds up. I saw it maybe like a year or two ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still funny.
Have you seen Waiting recently?
I haven't actually. Somebody weirdly enough just talked about it though the other day.
What did they say?
Well, they were just like, "Oh, I've rewatched Waiting, and it's still just as funny." But I can't, that was
I
a
can't
weird.
imagine that it's still funny.
But that's just it. Like, I feel like you have to go back into a time and place where Dane Cook was actually funny and popular. Like, that was like,
Yeah.
he was in that movie, and it was like he was the
Yeah,
biggest.
but he's not like a big role in that.
No, but like that was just it. That was like the moment in time though where everyone was like, "This guy's cool and edgy," and then like
Yeah.
4 years later, everyone's like, "This guy's a fucking dork." So
I don't know.
it was a very like window in time,
I feel like I got like a special place in my heart for like the Hollywood guys that get like fucked by their family, and like Dane Cook had to send his brother to jail for like spending all his money, like very like you got your heart broken by your family kind of thing. Like didn't something like that happen to Brendan Fraser too? Where it just took all
I think
it was a lady that got him real bad. Like a divorce took all his money, but she was also being like what do you call that? Like emotionally abusive to him.
Yeah.
And
I don't
like
know.
Dirk Nowitzki, I think that happened to him as well.
Really?
Called real succubus. Yeah.
Oh shit. Well, I mean that's the danger, man.
Yo, Dirk Nowitzki might have the best chip of all time.
Best championship?
Yeah.
I mean,
He-
yeah.
he-
I mean, against that fucking Heat team.
The
yeah.
Heat team, and I think the run going to it. I think he beats Tim Duncan's Spurs and Kobe's Lakers.
Yeah. And I
That's
mean,
tough.
he kind of
and I think he beats the Thunder when they have
Russell and
Harden
Durant.
and Durant. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, and he kind of did it like not on his own because that team was pretty like solid, but they were like solid in the sense that like it was Dirk and then everybody else was kind of like a B minus. So like it was his
Who
show.
else on that? Jason Terry.
Yeah, Jason Terry.
The guy that they called the Matrix. What's that guy's name?
Oh fuck.
Whatever. Him.
I just remember they were like the kind of team where it was like, I mean, he had like that Sixers team from the early 2000s where it was him and a bunch of role players and that was it.
Is Jason Kidd on that team?
Oh, I don't think he was. No, I don't think he was. Cause fucking, oh fuck, who was the point? I can't remember. Fuck it. But yeah.
And that's why we don't have a sports podcast.
Yeah, exactly. That's, I dude, you fucking, just even remembering fucking Terry was impressive with how little fucking basketball I've watched in the past 20 years.
Yo, shout out to my man Jake that was just up. I spent a lot of time with him. He remembers everything, dude.
Yeah.
Like he was throwing stuff around like it's crazy. I remember him like he was talking about the two Giants losses for the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I don't know, man. I just never really brought myself back to go
To watch him again.
And he was like, he's like, you haven't gone and suffered. He knows like all the bad plays and everything. Like, yeah.
Well, I mean, if you want to go like toe to toe with like bad Lions losses in 2003 to 2017, I can do that with the best of them.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think he puts a lot of bets down too, so I feel like that also.
Oh yeah,
has
that
you,
definitely. Yeah,
like you remember things with like the agony of losing your money as well too. So
I was gonna say I still remember some of the terrible fucking games that I bet on. I'd say like I don't know if I've told it this one, but this was the moment where I was officially like, okay, I'm now like in trouble gambling. I had like loan money from my brother to bail myself out, which luckily he does. He is not hoarded, held over my head for my entire fucking life. But yeah, it was Vikings Lions. I bet on the Lions. I think the Lions were favored by like 2.5 or something. Or no, the Lions were favored by 1.5. That's right, because the Lions were up 2, like basically like going into the last seconds of the game. Vikings kicker hits a 61-yard field goal that literally hits the bottom of the upright, goes straight up in the air, hits the bottom of the upright again, and then just like falls right in. It was like my literal stomach was in my throat at that point.
Man.
Yeah, and it was like a big bet. It was like a Sunday night game after like all day Sunday. I was getting my ass handed to me. So this was my I gotta get bailed out like bet. And then Monday morning I had to like pay up, and I was just like, I don't have any of that money.
Damn.
So I had to like call my brother and be like, can you loan me like $3,000? He was like, what do you mean? I'm like, just loan me $3,000.
You're not asking any questions about this. I'd appreciate
Exactly.
it.
This will be the last time you ever hear from me regarding this. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's never got into gambling, man.
Good for you. It's stupid anyway. I think I've said it here before, but nerds win gambling. Like if you think you're a good gambler, then you better be a fucking nerd, because those are the people who win. People who know things about football don't win gambling. That's not how it works. You have to know like what it means when fucking the Dallas Cowboys win the coin toss and are, now with the sun or whatever, are going in a particular direction down the field, and what it means when the wind is going 6 degrees or 6 miles per hour, blowing northeast by northwest or whatever the fuck, Those are the fucking people who win. Like you have to plug that shit into a fucking algorithm and like be like, all right, I'm going to win this bet 72% of the time, therefore I'm going to place it, Somebody who's just like, I've watched football, so I know about football. It's like, that guy is not going to win any money. That's not how it works.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I just never got into the gambling.
I mean,
maybe it was like all the rush of being involved in drugs, took place of that. You know what I mean? Like if you're like doing drugs, moving drugs, driving with drugs,
you kind of scratch that itch
in states, especially like in Florida, like in states where like the penalties are like severe.
Yeah, it's like I'm going to spend 30 years in prison. for
it's
this.
like you want. Yeah. It's like I fucking I had more of a rush driving here.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? With what's in my car than I could ever get from
a
this
bet.
football game. Yeah. And it's like we're doing drugs and we don't even know what's in it. Like there's a rush.
Yeah, there you go.
Like,
yeah.
hey, you
I
wanna
will say, that was definitely the same kind of like animal. Yeah.
So I think maybe that's just why I never ended up getting involved in it.
You also got lucky though, because like you grew up during a time period where all of your sports teams were like on runs. You know, like you had the Patriots winning Super Bowls, you had the Red Sox. You know, the even when they weren't winning titles in like the '90s, they were at least good and like relevant. You know, you had the Celtics, you had the Bruins win a cup. Like you guys, like there was a reason to watch games and actually feel invested in them.
Yeah.
If you're a fucking Lions fan watching like the Joey Harrington era Lions, like. You need something to get you through those games.
Yeah.
You know, like
That's for the love of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, you love football that much.
just saying, you know, it makes it so it's difficult to get excited about, you know, a Lions Packers Sunday night game where you're just gonna get fucking the absolute shit beat out of you.
Yeah.
You know. But hey, at least if they come within 16 and a half, you know, you made your money.
It's funny, like I don't even have any idea what any of that means. Like spreads, this and that. Like I don't like people. I hear people talk about this. I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck that means. Yeah, good for you.
Well, 16 and a half means it's a fucking terrible team playing a good team, probably on the road too.
Why does it always have to be like a half? How do you figure out?
Well, it doesn't
how
have to be a half,
significant
but
the half is.
Well, the half is just so that way there's no push. Like if it's 16,
Well, you can't score a half point in the game, right? So what? It's just to like
to
make it so.
Well, it's just to make it so the bet is a winner or a loss. There's no push. So in a 16 scenario, like, you know, let's say it's 16 points and they fucking win by 16. There's the money goes back to the money doesn't exchange hand. The bet like goes dead basically. You know, so like fucking at least by adding it the half, you're gonna win or you're gonna lose that bet. There's not gonna be a push. So, but I mean, there's still spreads where, you know, it's a 3-point spread or something. You know, I don't usually like betting them though because I don't want to bet. I don't want to, you know, root for a fucking tie.
Yeah. I just feel like
it's the same reason I don't bet on unders. Like I'm not
all this time to invest. I feel like there's quicker ways to get rich.
Oh, 100%.
Like,
yeah. I mean, anybody, like I said, who's betting is just it's a fool's errand. You're never going to win.
Yeah.
Or maybe you may win a couple bets.
I like that.
Just, you know, you always hear from fucking people who bet about like, you know, oh, I made this amount of money, I made that amount of money, and it's like, yeah, dude, how many fucking bets are you losing?
How much did you lose? I feel like
I have a guy like that who was like our grill cook at at the restaurant or whatever, and he's always going on about like, oh, I put on this bet, dude, I made so much money. It's like, why are you here getting paid fucking $18 an hour, dude? Like, you know, guess what? I know you're losing more money than you're making. You know, otherwise you would be in Vegas, like, you know, blowing coke off a stripper's fucking ass right now. You know. I would be, at least if I was fucking winning every single bet I placed.
That's so dangerous now to think about it.
What, blowing coke off a stripper's ass?
Yeah, like the fentanyl and the STD risk, like that. You could die from that.
Yeah.
But in my younger days, I'd be like, I'm first in line.
Yeah.
I'm the very first in line. We're going to fight about me not being the first in line.
I'm sure there's like fucking STDs too that like haven't even been discovered yet that you're going to get off.
Dude, there's no way that we've made it this far into the show and not talked about how there's got to be a cure for STDs, and they're just like, nah.
Oh, like herpes and shit?
The medicine's more important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the pharmaceutical company for you.
Herpes just like a fucking cold sore?
Yeah, basically.
You can cure a cold sore, right? So what the fuck makes...
I think technically you can. I think there's people that are like prone to, like, because herpes isn't just like sexual. Like, I think it's like there's also like herpes simplex, whatever.
I
like,
think that's what cold sores
is. Well, that's just it. So just there's certain people that are just every time they get sick, they get fucking cold sores. It's not like a weird sexual disease. It's just like that's what they have.
It's like some plague that their god cursed them with.
Yeah, pretty much.
Thousands of years
Because I can't think of
ago.
anything grosser than a fucking cold sore.
Yeah. That always brings me to that part in How High when they're smoking with the RA, and it's like, that shit on your lip got some shit on its lip.
Yeah.
That's a great movie.
How High?
Yeah.
That's another one I haven't seen. I don't think I've seen that movie since it came out.
Bro.
Yeah.
My man's fucking I Need Money. You don't know.
No, I don't.
I'm talking to you about a movie that you don't know. How's that feel?
I guess, you know, the shoe's on the other foot at this point.
Bam!
You win. I'll have to brush up on my fucking Method Man and Red Man catalog.
Nice.
Yeah.
Have you had any interesting reviews lately?
No, not recently. No.
It's a rare occurrence. I went back and read my 1-star review.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about this time I got this kid a job there, and he just I don't know. He never. I got him a job, and then he started working with like all the bad characters, and he thought that's what like the life was all about. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So then like it was like a holiday or something. And we were working together, and he was like getting drunk, and then he started like being mad at me because I had quit drinking. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
just this weird like
Yeah.
thing. And he wanted to work service bar, and I was sick, and I was gonna call out, and I was like, "Yo, I just want to work service bar and not talk to anybody, bro. Can you just fucking handle this shit?"
Yeah.
And it was like such a big deal. You know what I mean? Just through like looking back at it, I should have just manned up and just did the people, because like that's I don't know. I'm always willing to fault myself, I guess. That's for the night to have gone the best way for it to go, that's what I should have done.
Yeah.
But it's not what I wanted to do. And selfishly, I just felt like shit. And I was like, dude, I'd much rather do this. And it just caused all these problems. You know what I mean? So then it caused like a blow up between me and him. And I think I ended up just going home. I was like, you guys got this for the rest of the night. Fuck this. I'm going home.
Yeah.
And like that blow up is like what ended up getting translated onto the
into
review.
the
Like,
review?
we came, I think
So it was like a couple like at the bar that just overheard it all?
It was either like New Year's Eve or Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Like one of the two like big amateur hour nights. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's just like,
So these people weren't ready for this shit.
no, they're like 1-star review. The bartenders were literally fighting with each other. And I was like reading it like, oh, I fucking did do that shit.
Like, was that me? I guess that was me.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah.
This one is about me. Like I have no reviews about anything positive at all. But this one shining star. They're like, yeah. I heard he also dressed up like Batman and fought a terrible.
This wasn't
regular
the same
one.
night, was it? No, okay.
No, this
Oh,
is
yeah,
at,
no,
this is
yeah.
the Batman incident was at the sister restaurant.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I would have done the same thing you did. It's like, fuck you, dude. I'm sick. You're drunk. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
well, I
You
don't
know?
think he was drunk at the beginning of the night. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But I would just like turn around and catch him just like slamming like a drink down. It's like
Yeah.
you're not drinking soda water like that. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like it's like you're destroying the evidence.
Yeah.
You know, to like. And, you know, I don't know, like that, the whole thing, like me, like deciding, like I was tight with this dude, you know what I mean? Like we wanted to like turn my backyard into like self-sustaining garden and stuff like that. We would work on it in our free time together and shit. And we would like pound beers and get drunk throughout the day.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes I would wake up and be like, yo, what the fuck did we even accomplish? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like we did some fucking dumbass shit. Like, but I never like vilified this kid like he was like the problem.
Right.
You know what I mean? I just said, hey man, like I don't want to fucking drink anymore. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'm not gonna be drinking. Like I'll go buy you beer if you don't have your ID on you or whatever the problem is. Like yeah, I'll go buy you drinks. Like this isn't my first time quitting drinking. Like I'm not trying to get you to do it. You know, and I don't know why that never stuck. I'm not trying to affect
Your life.
what you got going
Yeah.
on. Yeah, but I don't know. And you know, you look back at it now, like once you kind of remove yourself from the scene, it's like, dude, I don't want to sit here and fucking hang out with people that are pounding drinks, getting wasted
just
all day. It's
shit-faced.
like,
Yeah.
it's just it's no fun. Like, you know, I'll tolerate it if it's like concert or some shit like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or it's a sporting event or something like that. But it's like to everybody have immediately around you be like hammered and you're like the only one.
Oh, it sucks.
Yeah. It's just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And I'm blessed too. Like my wife, she doesn't really drink like that. You know, like I
Yeah.
never have to be like the sober husband with my trashed wife being like, all right, hon, like
Yeah. Get in the
let's
car.
get out of here.
Yeah.
But there was a fork in the road in my life, which you've seen,
Yeah.
where you could be like, damn, Ryan, you dodged a bullet with the drunken mess
Oh, yeah.
over there. So I don't know. Props to Renee for helping me fucking change for the better.
Yeah, well, there you go. You know, she turned you into the man you are today. My wife definitely did that too. She's
It's a team effort steering the male on track in your life, I guess.
to push you into mediocrity. You know?
Yeah, to have you sipping your coffee in the morning feeling like Ray Lolita. Is that him at the end of Goodfellas?
Oh, Ray Liotta.
Ray Liotta, yeah.
Ray what?
Lolita or some shit? I don't know.
No.
Know
I think
guy.
that's a term for underage underage like sex workers, I think. Lolita, isn't that a thing? It's like the Nabokov book or whatever where, you don't know that one?
He lost me at book and underage sex workers.
Well, Nabokov wrote a book called Lolita, I think, and it was about like him having like a relationship with like an underage girl or
Bro.
something. Yeah.
Have I ever told the story about Javier?
No, but I know Javier. I'm related to
You don't know
not this Javier.
You don't know
Yeah.
this Javier. Like, have I ever told you a story about how for a summer I was like a laborer on a construction site
No.
in Key West?
Oh yeah?
Yeah. So it's the summer. I think it's the summer between my senior year of college and my freshman year. the senior year of high school and my freshman year of college. Right?
Yeah.
And my boy Nick, his dad's like a construction, I don't want to call him mogul, but he knows everybody in the construction business, right? So he's like, he always tried to get us like these gigs, you know, like these, I don't know, like they're
manual labor jobs,
laborers jobs, yeah, but like well paying, and like, you know, they put you up in a hotel, you get a per diem,
yeah,
you know, shit, like you're 17, 18
so
years
you're
old,
balling.
like holy shit, like this is great, you know. So he sets us up with this company. They're doing like we're working at a hospital as well, and we're expanding the operating room in the hospital. And this is in Key West, Florida, in the summertime. The whole thing is on blacktop.
Yeah, it's hot as fuck.
You're moving like 4-inch iron pipes that are black, that are sitting in the fucking sun, like, and they're like 20 feet long. They weigh a considerable amount. Like, it's like you and another dude with like a thing that you put on your shoulder so you don't get burnt.
Yeah.
And you're just like trucking these things wherever they need to go. And you're like holding them up while the welders do what they need to do and shit.
Yeah.
You're cleaning up the job site. In the spare time, my boy Nick, he's the one that the mahi guy.
Yeah.
He likes taking stuff.
Yeah.
So he's finding all this fucking cool stuff to rob. Like we're
copper pipes and shit.
Not even, dude. It's all like doctor shit. Like he's got all like we had the best roach clips for the next 10 years of our life, dude. All these like pistol grip. Like I'm sure they're used for like clotting a vein or some shit. You know what I mean? We took all this like doctor's equipment and shit. So we're like smoking fucking roaches with these fucking, you know, I don't know what you want to call him. Whatever. That's besides the point. So the dude who's like our boss essentially is Javier. And we have to get in a truck with Javier and drive from the Gulf Coast of Florida, which is like the midpoint of Florida, the long way, down to Key West, which is the very bottom
that's
of
a fucking drive.
The islands, right? This dude's like a 50-something year old, maybe he's late 40s at this point. He's from like Ecuador or some shit like that. And so he gets comfortable. You know, we make these drives a few times. Like, you know, you didn't just drive down there once. It's like you drove down there, you worked, you came back a few times. So now this dude's like telling us about himself now. You know, before it's just like all work. You know, so I'll set him up as a good man first, because that's what he tells us, right? So so he worked down the Twin Towers, right? And he signed a contract where you had to work 20 hours a day for a whole year or something like that. No days off. He's like, I made all this money. I did, you know, I work. And obviously this dude's got like English as a second language going on. So like the stories that he's telling you, he just sounds like this like John Henry of a migrant worker. You know what I mean? So he's telling you all this shit. And then it ends up that his wife divorces him and like takes all his money after that. And so he goes down. So now he's a heartbroken Javier, right? He goes down to I don't think it's Guatemala, because I feel like we have so much overlap with Guatemala in our industry now.
Yeah.
Maybe it was, but so he goes, so I go home, and he goes, I go, and he didn't call it a brothel, but very quickly after the story that he tells you,
you figured out it was a brothel?
You figure out that it's a brothel. And this is what made me think of telling the Javier stories when you said the underage sex workers. He's like, you go, he's like, you have your pick. He's like, there's all of these women. He's like, you like big breasts, you like big asses. He's like, you like them to be young? And we're like, and at that point, like, he's laying all this shit on you. I'm still, you know, what have I fucked? Like 3 girls in my life at this point? You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, cool, man. And he's like, you have to pay a lot of money if you want them young. And we're like, holy shit. And there was a point when my boy Nick, remember the Nextel phone?
Yeah, like the bloop bloop.
Yeah, so he had that. He recorded this conversation. So forever, as long as that phone would take a battery charge, he had this elongated conversation on. So he's talking about how you got to pay a lot of money to fuck these young girls, right? And then he tells us this other story about, this never came to fruition to me about what this was until I got like deep into the internet.
Yeah.
But basically he described a squirter to us at like 18. I didn't know what the fuck that was at this point. Like the worst thing I had was a girl taking a piss on the floor in a Hustler magazine.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And at 18 too, that was back before like the internet was really like super big. So like it wasn't as accessible.
Yeah, like you're saving stuff on 3.5-inch discs. You know what I mean? Like, so he tells us this shit. He's like, so she explodes on me and like all the dude. I wish that I had a better hobby. I wish this is going to be a grand story if I could remember all the words that he used, but I can't. And yeah, so basically I was exposed to that at like 18 years old and being like, yo, the world is a fucking bad place.
What a disgusting world.
And so later on, you know, I go through this phase, and my boy Nick's a year younger than me, right? So I move away. I basically don't talk to anybody from where my hometown, my high school town at all. Like, I get involved in the scene that I'm in Tampa, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck about any of these people. Not intentionally, you know what I mean? I just got wrapped up in what I was doing. So eventually my boy Nick, I think he comes up to Tampa just on a whim. Like, he knows where I live. I think he might have helped me move to where I was at. Or no, he came to like the first party that I had at my house, right?
Yeah.
And then I found all these other new friends and started hanging out with them. And so he comes up and finds me. He's like, bro, what the fuck? Like, I've been looking for you, you know what I mean? He's like, you just don't talk to me anymore. And this is like one of my best friends, you know? And I'm like, I'm a piece of shit, dude. Like, I've been fucking partying, bro. You know, I got wrapped up in all this shit. So then he moves up to Tampa the next year. You know, he lives like right around the corner from me. So we have this long-standing relationship. He comes up as one of my groomsmen for my wedding, right? Years later. 10 years later at least. So we started talking about the Javier story. I go, bro, have you ever talked to your dad about this? Like, how much vetting of Javier did your dad do before he sent us down there?
Yeah.
With this fucking...
Because it took us three fucking car rides to find out he's fucking
maybe
underage
only
girls.
Even 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, he worked with him like on a job like once or twice.
Yeah. And that was it? That was enough to just be like, yeah.
Holy fuck, dude. Like, come on, Floyd. Come on.
Come on, Floyd.
Floyd's the dude that first caught us smoking weed, too, and he's, like, from, like, fucking Alabama and a former Marine, and he has a bad stutter when he gets worked up.
Yeah.
So, like, being high as a kid and, like, laughing at everything, like, getting caught by, like, that situation of a man, that was tough.
Yeah.
And then I worked with Nick's mom at Red Lobster, and then, like, the next day I show up to work, and she's like, she's British.
Yeah.
I can't do a British accent, so I'm not even going to try, but she's like, whatever Floyd said to you, don't even worry about it. She's like, you're welcome at my house anytime.
Yeah.
I was like, this is awesome. This is what it's like getting caught smoking weed in England. Like, just nobody cares.
I mean, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Miss Julie was always the best.
Yeah.
I remember another thing I remember about them, they drank like Kool-Aid with like no sugar in it. And I was like, what the hell is this?
Do they even sell Kool-Aid with no sugar in it?
I think they just put the mix in. Is that how you make Kool-Aid?
Yeah, that's how you just make Kool-Aid.
Nah, bro.
Yeah.
You got to put like way more sugar in it than normal.
I don't know, man. Kool-Aid's pretty sugary.
Nah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where it all went wrong for me.
Dude, I mean, you do you have like a fucking insulin pump in you right now? You're adding more sugar to the fucking Kool-Aid mix?
Bro, you want to know how fucking terrible of a human I am? I made myself a skillet cookie last night.
Yeah.
My wife ate very little of it. I demolished the whole thing with the ice cream and the whipped cream on top of it.
Yeah.
And then I went back and finished off like the rest of the ice cream for it.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it's brutal.
Yeah. You should check out your fucking blood sugar level, pal. They're gonna be cutting your fucking feet off.
Nah.
Does diabetes like run in your family or anything?
Nope.
No. Well, it
Not
will
that
soon.
I know of. My dad eats ice cream like every day.
Yeah.
Like a G too.
Maybe you just hit the genetic lottery.
My wife did tell me that the sugar is my drug now. Now that she called it drugs, now I have to monitor it.
Yeah.
She also brought up the fact that I've been raw dogging life. Like, I was going to therapy pretty consistently, and then we got like new health coverage and shit with her getting a new job. And I just never renewed going to therapy.
Yeah.
I just been getting after it.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, I don't know. I feel like therapy is the kind of thing where I'm sure it's helpful, but if
I
you
think
don't,
it served its purpose.
yeah, I was gonna say if you don't miss it, then I guess that just means you didn't need it. You know.
I don't know. Either that or I'm just falling back into my my Red Foreman ways, where like my brain just says everything that I do that's positive is being a pussy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just being a little bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't fucking you don't need Steve.
His name was Steve?
Yeah.
Steve.
And then a lot of times we would talk about the Patriots. Towards the end, I'd be like, oh, we're just fucking using the filler time to talk about the boys?
Yeah. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
Yeah. I could do this with anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess, I don't know. It is, I will say, it was what I needed for a while, but now that I think I got my life together, you know, like he never, shout out to him, he never like pushed me to quit drinking.
Yeah.
And I definitely was drinking when I first started going to see him. And I made the decision that I didn't want to drink anymore, like in talking to him.
Yeah.
But he never like once was like, what would life be like if you just got rid of the alcohol?
Yeah.
You know, like he just kind of like let me
Kind of come to that.
figure out
yeah.
what the right decision was, and props to him for that.
Yeah. Well, was there like a rock bottom, or was it just the kind of thing where it was like a culmination of shit where you're just like, you know what, I'm done with this? Like, was there something that happened that like was the end?
Yes. And I don't know if I'm prepared to talk about that on
That's
the
fine.
podcast
Yeah.
yet.
No. I always find it interesting when they're like when the people talk about like some sort of like seismic like rock bottom event that caused this dramatic shift in your life.
Yeah.
Whereas like for me, I feel like it was just kind of like a culmination where it was just like, you know what? How many times do I have to feel like this, and how many times do I have to act like this before I'm just like all set with being like this? You know?
I mean, that's where it like came to. Like with with therapy, it's like I just found myself telling the same story about how my life was going.
Right? Yeah.
And it was just like, I think this is why.
Yeah.
And I think that it helped that. I mean, fuck it, I don't care. I don't even know if I've talked about this before or not, but it's like I've been to rehab in my life. I've had a pretty substantial addiction to pills and shit, and quitting doing that, going through the rehab process. It's like successfully to the point where you're like, all right, like I can differentiate the fact where like I'm just going to keep smoking weed and keep drinking.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be doing like pills and coke and ecstasy and all this shit anymore.
Yeah.
It's like,
which honestly is harder. Like,
I do believe
Yeah.
it was harder. Like, especially when you're fucking drunk and shit and people like doing blow around you and stuff, for you to like not partake in that.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy. So, yeah, I don't know. You just find yourself telling like the same stories, and I think the tools that I picked up in the rehab for the pills and everything process,
Yeah.
like they definitely applied to like they call it cross addiction. They're like, this is going to happen to you if you keep participating in stuff like this. Like maybe you won't do pills anymore, but you're going to drink.
do something else.
Maybe you
Yeah.
won't drink, but you're going to start smoking weed. Well, I don't think that applies, but that's what they say. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? They just throw it all in the same boat, and I think. Just getting through that process, it's like very easy if you choose to identify what it is, just being like, fuck,
Yeah.
I'm doing it again. This has got to go.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I honestly think that no matter what, you're going to be addicted to something. And it is the kind of thing where, like, you have to, like, sub it out with, like, something positive then,
Yeah.
Like, if you're fucking drinking too much, if you're doing drugs, if you're doing all that shit, you can, like, just as easily turn, like, whatever. Like, people are addicted to fucking, their phones. They're addicted to fucking porn, like, they're addicted to sex. They're addicted to, like, you can find some niche that's just going to completely ruin your fucking life in some other way. You kind of have to, like, learn how to, make your new, like, doing drugs being like, all right, well, I'm going to run. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to try and, like, I'm going to try and get this side hustle going. I'm going to try and, like, be a better husband, be a better father, whatever it is. Because you have that energy inside of you that needs some sort of, like, to itch or to scratch that itch. And it's all, like, kind of how you sort of put that out into the world,
Yeah.
So I do think, though, that, like, for me personally, I stopped drinking. Well, I mean, I don't know, actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, I mean, when I quit doing drugs, I think I just put all of that energy then into drinking. And then when I quit drinking, what did I do? Oh, no, yeah, well, yeah, I guess quitting drinking kind of was just like a positive thing for me. I think I did kind of just put all that energy into like trying to be a more present and better father, which is good.
That's good. Yeah.
Like, yay for me. But quitting smoking, I actually think the big reason I was able to quit smoking was because that was like when I got an iPhone and I subbed out that addiction for that addiction. Like, I do catch myself on my phone way too fucking much, doom scrolling all the time. And I think that's that same synapse in my brain that's firing where it's like, all right, well, I need a cigarette. I'm going to pick up my phone. I'm just going to scroll for like 10 minutes, you know?
I'm going to fucking light and sit.
It's exactly.
Like,
so I think in a lot of ways that's the same thing. Because honestly, when I'm leaving the house, I always have to make sure I got my keys, my wallet, and my phone. And it used to be my keys, my wallet, and my cigarettes, So, and I'll fucking turn around to get my phone. Like, that's the thing. I'm driving to the fucking grocery store. What the fuck are you going to need your phone for? It's like, I don't care if I'm halfway there. I'm turning around to get my phone, you know? So
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel if it's like a situation where you got kids or you're caring for like elderly parents or something like that, it's like you got to have it for like emergency purposes.
yeah, but I don't even have it for
But
that.
it's
I need it in my pocket, like,
Yeah, but I'm trying to give you an out on
Yeah.
this, and I'm trying to say
I'm a piece of shit.
for me, it's
Yeah.
more like I got no reason to have it, and
Yeah.
it's me. I'm like, oh my god,
Yeah.
like it's like, dude, I'm definitely like the part in Zoolander where they're like breaking the computer.
computer?
Like, yeah, like that's what's going on inside my head if I don't have my phone.
It's inside the computer.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's really my last vice, though, is the phone shit. And honestly, it's the vice I hate the most. Like, I fucking hate that I'm on my phone as much as I am, and I can't stop it. You know?
yeah, I hate it too because I'll go on YouTube to try to solve a problem.
Yeah.
And then
all of a sudden, an hour later, you're like, what the fuck
I'm
I've been doing for the past 45 minutes?
I could have fixed this shit
Yeah.
already, and I'm over here fucking looking at memes
Yeah.
like a fucking idiot. Like,
Same. I'll get out of work or whatever, and I'll sit on the couch. It's 11:30, and I'll be like, oh, word. I could probably like do a couple things or something before I go to bed. And then all of a sudden, it's 1:00 in the morning, and I'm sitting on my phone still. I'm like, what the fuck did I just do for the last hour and a half? I fucking hate the phone.
I don't know if you noticed that mulch pile looking pretty significantly
Yeah,
slim
there you go,
outside,
bud.
but your boy making some positive decisions over the last couple days.
There you go.
Yeah.
We got some shit going on in my house. I got the second floor up. They framed the whole fucking thing. So any day now, like the trusses come and then the roof goes on. I'm like pretty much done.
So what do they do? You basically like knocked your garage down, and that's becoming like the new living quarters.
Yeah, I knocked the garage down. And I had a back room that I knocked down, which was like shittily built anyway, and not even insulated. It was like a 3-season room.
Yeah.
So then we dug out a foundation there that tied into our existing basement. There's a living room in the back, and then above the garage is going to be like my master bedroom, master bath, and all that shit.
Do you still have a garage?
Well, yeah. So
you like drive into the garage now and go into the house?
But yeah,
That's solid.
Yeah, we could have done that
setup.
before, but we have kids, so we have so much fucking shit in that garage, and it's still going to be the same thing. It's a slightly bigger garage, but it's just going to be for
Eventually,
their
it's
shit.
gonna be full of
Yeah. Well, I mean, when they move out, then yeah, I'll be able to park in my fucking house, but and I'll be sad when I do. But yeah, it's going good.
No, they'll leave their shit there for. I still got Ninja Turtles at my mom's house, bro.
Yeah, actually, that's true.
We should go get that box and go through
Fuck
it
yeah.
one day and be like, oh,
You're lucky, man. I lost all my shit. My
I lost a lot of my shit.
Oh yeah, that's
So-
right. You had the hurricane, right?
Yeah.
Well, my shit was all in my mom's storage unit at like her work or whatever, and there was like a flood, and like we lost
Oh,
it all.
man.
It was like fucking everything was like covered in black mold. But yeah, like I had a bunch of fucking GI Joe shit and all that shit.
I do enjoy watching that like those shows where like dudes go to like flea markets and stuff and like find old toys.
Yeah,
And then they just like flip them online and shit.
dude, I don't enjoy it at all. I watch that fucking show. I watch shows like that. That place in the North Attleboro Mall with like all the shit. Dude, I like looking at all their goddamn action figures. I'm like, had that one, had that one, had that one, had that one. I pulled off his fucking head. I melted his
Yeah.
face. I, fucking froze him in a block of ice. It's like, and I literally am just looking around. I'm like, I've destroyed like $25,000 worth of GI Joes. Like enough money where it would have changed my fucking life. Like the aircraft carrier alone. Like we, I don't even know what ended up happening to it in the end because like we played with it, so it was played with. Doors were broken off. The fucking thing was like dismantled by the time I think we were all done with it. Like we were missing half the fucking pieces.
Yeah.
That's shit low. Like if you kept all those pieces, it's worth like $8,000.
It's not worth that much.
I think it is.
Like in the box, probably.
Well, yeah, but what serial killer isn't playing with the fucking aircraft carrier?
Yeah.
So
Like you just said, I think we just missed out on like the golden age, I think. Because as children, you don't have like the concept of like I was young enough to be getting G.I. Joes for like Christmas and stuff like that.
yeah,
And not understand like that they're collectible or whatnot, that it would be worthwhile to like save them and put them away or ask for like a double set or something. You know what I mean? And I think you would have needed like an older brother or like a younger set of parents that like collected Star Wars figures or something to be like, hey, just something to think about.
yeah.
Here's what I wish I did.
Yeah, we had Star Wars
like,
figures too that we destroyed. That was
and then
another one.
by the time that I got to knowing about like the collecting and stuff like that, it's like the only stuff that I was buying doubles of were like X-Men figures.
Yeah.
So I forget who made them, Toy Biz maybe or something like that. But I had like a 40-year-old virgin like collection like that.
Like in the boxes.
Yeah, like still like probably could have sent them out to get graded. You know what I mean? Because I would buy one to play with, and I would buy one to put away.
Yeah.
And I had, like that. My pops had me working from a young age, so it's like I could always like work a delivery shift with him, make like $50 to go blow it at like KB Toys. And I remember as a kid, they'd have like buy two get one specials and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
For dude, I want to say like the whole top of my closet was like Poland Springs water bottle boxes, like gallon water bottle boxes of Toy Biz, Marvel. Maybe they weren't all X-Men. They're like Spider-Man,
Yeah.
all these guys. But I bet you now, like, it's not going to be as crazy as like the G.I. Joe prices because they made so many more of them and
Yeah.
such. But
still, not many people kept them in the fucking boxes and shit.
yeah, and I also had, I had like the original run of X-Men comics. I had a few single-digit ones, but I had quite a bit of like the early X-Men comics. I don't know what would have been worth more, the toys or the comics, if the hurricane didn't fuck them up, or if I was smart enough to go get them in the first place. But I don't know. Same thing with you. Like, I look at that toy store and I'm like, damn. But I also look at it to you like, dude, I beat the shit out of the stuff that I did play with.
Yeah.
So it's like the only thing I really have to gripe about is if like that Marvel stuff ever blows up.
Right.
But I feel like you're at the point where
It would have by now.
There's so many of them produced that it's like I just don't think like the scarcity issue isn't there for them.
Yeah.
And also like the mindset of like the collectability and like buying all this stuff and stashing it for years as it went on clearance for like $1 and stuff was also there.
Right.
So it's like the back stuff is
Well, that's just it. I feel like the people who got rich like collecting toys are like actually 5 or 10 years older than us.
Mm-hmm.
They were the first to the game. We were the ones like by the time we started like realizing like, oh shit, this might be worth some money. Like it was too late. Everybody else is coming to that realization.
Yeah.
Whatever. Fuck it. They're toys.
I don't know. I would still do if I had, if I somehow worked my way into like a schedule of having more time off with the lady, I would definitely be like, yo,
play more toys with her.
Yeah.
Start doing like G.I. Joe wars and shit.
Be like, dude, we gotta have like some Hot Wheels race across your boobs or something, Like, no, but I would definitely be about going to like the yard sales and shit, and seeing what I could find.
You couldn't pay me enough to go to a yard sale. Like those places are fucking the worst.
Yeah, I don't know. If you're doing it with your significant other and she's a fun time to be around, I don't see why.
The idea of them is fun, but I think the people who like go to those things are like just not sorry to say this, but you're just trash. You're just a trash person.
You got a high chance of growing up to be a tattoo artist.
Well, my brother like had he's like, oh, I'm doing a yard sale or whatever. Do you want to like sell anything in my yard sale? And I was like, I would rather throw things in the fucking dumpster.
I'm not talking about having a yard sale.
Yeah.
I'm talking about going to yard sales.
Yeah, but like that's just it. Those people, well, not you, but I'm just saying like there are people that go to yard sales just to like beat me up over like a $3 ashtray. It's like just leave me the fuck alone, man. Do you want the thing or not?
Yeah, like they want to pay like coins.
Yeah, exactly.
For things. Like,
they're like flipping through T-shirts and they're like, how much do you want? And it's like, I don't know, man. Like I'll give me $5. You can have every fucking T-shirt in the pile. And they're like, I'll give you 2. It's like I'll set those shirts on fire before I sell them to you for $2.
I'm gonna wipe my ass with each one, and then you can have them for 2.
Like those people to me are just like you're fucking just a degenerate.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
That would be. I feel like that would be like a funny channel if you could somehow get it on. Get recording on it.
What, setting T-shirts on fire in front of people?
No, like having like a yard sale and just catching like the interactions with the degenerates trying to pay you $2 for something,
or just fucking weirdos in general. They show up to your yard sale and they're like, "Can I use your bathroom?" It's like, no, you can't use my bathroom.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Hell no.
Yeah, get the
Hell no.
Hell no. Yeah. I don't know. People who like to search around for yard sales though, like that's like a special brand of tism, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I got it. You think did you put anything new on the old list this week?
I don't think I did actually.
Nah, the last thing on there is about me smoking teeth.
Smoking teeth?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think really much has gone on in my life.
Dwayne Wade's statue makes him look like Han Solo.
It does. It's like, it's like
that is funny, man.
Yeah, that was a fucking terrible statue.
It's like is like bronze like so expensive that like once you mess it up, you can't go
You're
back?
just fucked.
Yeah, like it's like you can just melt that down again and start over.
Yeah,
Like, this,
give it another go, man.
this looks like a garbage pail kid or
Yeah.
like a mad ball or something.
Garbage Pail Kid's another thing. I had like all those fucking cards.
Yeah.
All the stickers or whatever. Well, I don't know what happened to those either.
I had a bunch of cards, bro. That was like the first thing that I hustled was like the X-Men cards.
Yeah.
My stepdad like turned me onto that. He's like, you can just buy the box of the packs at BJ's, right? And I was like, no. And then I went and bought that, and it's like I got my complete set. I took all the holograms out of it, and I took like all these doubles to school. And I was like, who's your favorite character? He's 50 cents. He's 75 cents. He's 25 cents. And then I took all that money back and bought another box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like your original hustle.
Ever since the 3rd grade.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny. I used to think it was my dad that taught me how to hustle with him just being out on the move all the time. But really, it might have been my stepdad in the 3rd grade. Being like, you can make money off X-Men, right?
Yeah.
You can make money off of that gay agenda.
It was my stepdad that taught me to hate people who barter for things, because he was the king of like, he brought that like Mexican mentality to every transaction. So it's like you'd be in line at fucking Kmart and they would like ring up the thing and they would just be like, I'll give you $6 for that. It's like, that's not how this works, man. You're in a fucking department store. Like the price is the price, dude. We're not haggling at this point. The transaction is complete. Give me the money now.
Now I can't stop thinking that Armando might look like Danny Trejo, and he's just like
Armando. He still looks good. I'll give him that. But he's like,
Danny Trejo riding a horse, teaching it equestrian moves. What a great little thing I've managed to come up with in my own mind right now.
Armando's a character.
I'm just picturing like Danny Trejo on a horse doing the little dance.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Clip clop.
Yeah. My sister messes with horses. She runs like a equine therapy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So what, like it's therapy for horses, or it's therapy that involves horses?
Yeah, like you become a better person.
By riding a horse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess for like caring for the horse and like getting close with the horse.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Kind of just like a more complicated dog, if you ask me.
Yeah, well, and they're fucking, the stakes are higher too. If you get a mean, like, people don't realize, like, you can get a fucking mean horse.
Yeah.
And if you do, like, they're fucking killers. Like, if you get on, if you're going to some place that, like, doesn't know what they're doing, or, like, is not giving a fuck about, like, endangering people, and they throw your ass up on a horse that you have no business being on, like, that fucking thing will kill you, So you have to respect the horse. Yeah, I grew up on, like, a horse farm where, like, I fucking like mucked stables and shit. It was terrible. I fucking hate horses.
Well, that's probably why you have the work ethic that you do today.
I'm probably not, actually. But yeah, well, yes, actually. Yeah. My ability to tell somebody that I did something when in fact I didn't. Like, you did all that, right? It's like, oh yeah, totally.
I can bring that back to like hospitality though, because I feel like I have like butted heads with people in the past, and they're mad at me like the Chappelle Show when they're like on The Real World, and it's like, why are you working so goddamn hard? You know what I mean? And it's like, dude, if you don't, like, this industry is so crazy, like how maybe it's like a combination of this industry and Rhode Island, but it's got to be like this everywhere, like where you never know. Like you end up working with somebody who's your manager like 15 years down the road that like you interacted with in such a way that like could be detrimental or wicked positive to like what you have going on, and it's almost like, that's why I do things the right way. I leave no stone unturned. I make it so that my ears will never be burning when I leave the building.
Right.
So that in 15 years, when I show up someplace and
I
they're
see
like,
that
holy
person.
shit, Ryan, what, you know what I mean? Like I try to never leave like a trail of like, he doesn't work hard. He plays the system. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I try, but a lot of times I fucking
doesn't always happen.
I burn the place down the way out, but
yeah, but I mean, at the same time, the places that you do burn down, it's because you don't want to work with those people again anyway. So it's like kind of like, well, dude, if I ever come across you again, then let that be known that like the moment I see you, I'm turning around and leaving.
May
like
the bridges I burn lead the way.
Yeah,
I guess.
exactly.
Yeah, like there are a few people. Like we've talked about that one guy before. Like when I was working at like interviewing for Bodega.
Yeah,
I was like, listen, I've seen him here. If there's any chance that you think that there's going to be a copacetic
some sort of overlap,
let me just tell you right now. Like, let's stop these negotiations.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's why, like, if that's, you should have good work ethic, and you should want to leave a place knowing that you left it better than it was when you got there,
Yeah.
like on a daily basis for what I just said, if for nothing else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It will help you. You will never know the shade of this tree that you're planting at the time.
Yeah.
Until you walk under it years later. You know,
to me, like the main benefit of the restaurant business or like the industry in general is just the fact that like you can find a job in an hour. Like if I went into work today and they were like, "You're fired," I would probably have like some way of making money within 72 hours.
Yeah.
You know, like it might not be like the best job. It might just be kind of something where I'm like, all right, I can do this for a couple months while I find something else that's better. But the bottom line is I will still have income coming in. Like there's no possibility of me just like completely fucking cratering. And it's because like I just have a Rolodex of people where it's like, hey, where are you at right now and are you hiring? You know? I mean, if you have that, you know, and you're not gonna have that though if you're just a fucking I can't tell you how many fucking people I know that if they ever reached out to me and they were like, "Hey, is such and such hiring?" That I would be like, "Nah."
Hell no.
You know?
And why? Because they created a culture of bitch assness around themselves. You know what I mean? Like,
and these are people I even like. You know, like just because I like you doesn't mean I'm going to get you a job anywhere. It just might just mean that like, you know, if I see you again working somewhere, we'll still have a good professional relationship. But I'm never going to like put myself out there to make sure you get a job somewhere. You know. Like, I don't, you know, I liked you. That doesn't mean I want to work with you, you know?
I didn't pick you.
Yeah, exactly, you know? So, yeah. So I agree with that sentiment, though. You kind of have to walk the walk to a certain extent. But you also can't, like, be a bitch about it. You can't, like, just let people fucking walk all over you, you know? They can't, like, squeeze you for every last bit of your fucking, you know, perspiration, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's essentially, like, what I was faced with when I came back to like that, you know, after my hand had healed and everything like that. It was like, basically it was like, you're a bad guy.
Yeah.
And you're lucky that we're even having this conversation. And I was like, if that's how you want to think about it, you know, I can switch into the other guy real quick. So, you know, I don't know. I think, but that also like, if you do make yourself into being like that breed of like, I do work hard, I do get the job done. You know what I mean? It's like you're always going to have a place.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like,
but I think that person has the potential to get, you know, to have the, you know, to be taken advantage of.
Oh yeah.
You know, because I think a lot of places too, when you are putting in that kind of effort, they see everything like, you know, everything around you is operating smoothly, you know, and they begin to think that that's just because of something they're doing, where they're like, oh, well, this is just the operation running itself at this point. And it's like, well, no, I'm the one in the middle of this storm that's making the whole thing move. And it's like, I can leave, and I guarantee you that, like, you'll be fine, probably. Like, it's not like the fucking building is going to fall down without me, but you're going to become real fucking familiar with the fact that, like, hey, maybe Brennan was doing more than I thought he was doing, you know?
Yeah.
So,
well, even like just kind of like the unwritten things, you know? Like, I feel I made this point earlier today. It's like your team takes a hit if you don't re-sign a running back who got away with domestic violence and still got drafted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like the Bengals miss Joe Mixon.
They do.
There's no way around it. And somebody was like, "Oh, this other guy's putting up good." It's like, dude, like that guy, you missed that guy.
Yeah.
Like you missed that guy. It's not just plug another running back in and call it like you missed that specific breed of human. You know, so. Not to equate a great bartender to a domestic violence
wife beater.
Yeah.
Is that what I should be doing? I should be going home punching my wife more.
I don't know.
Is that gonna help me turn the corner?
I also, I feel like I can't. Like you would never catch me being like, "Hey, that MMA chick, I'm gonna track her down and get a date with her." You know what I mean? Like I don't think I want to date a girl that could fucking be whipping my ass. And like on the other pod that I was on today, like they're like, "Oh, that chick," da, 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 da. And I was like, I just could never. I could never.
You always want to keep that upper hand?
Keep that upper hand strong.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, whatever, I guess.
Like, can you imagine dating Ronda Rousey and she gets like a couple too many drinks in her and she
all of a
starts,
sudden
like,
you get fucking roundhouse kick to the face?
Oh, like you gotta come home and she's like yapping at you about the dishes or vacuuming or something. You're like, yes, hon, I'm so please. Please don't peg me later on
Yeah.
against my will.
Yeah, I mean that's just I don't think yeah. Well, I mean there are probably a lot of women who could beat the shit out of me at this point in time. I'm frail.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember this one time.
I bet me and my wife would be a good fight. I have the reach on her. She's a little like definitely a lot of energy. If she gets on the inside, I might be in trouble, but just as long as I work the jab, I should be fine.
Somebody says, I think Bill Burr has a thing like that. He's like, you just get up and just knock it real back, and you just catch her.
Yeah.
She'll be all right.
Yeah.
So well, I mean, I don't know. We haven't had any, it came back to domestic violence, but we haven't had a whole lot of conspiracy theories or.
No. Yeah.
I mean, we did talk about our boy Javier.
That's not a conspiracy theory. I think that
Nobody-
dude just straight fucking underage girls.
I feel like, but nobody was more mad to see 9/11 happen than Javier.
Why?
Because he helped build that shit.
Oh shit! I thought he was working on it after that.
No, like
Oh
he
yeah,
helped,
no. Now that I think about it, the times wouldn't match up. Yeah,
he helped make it.
yeah.
He's like a real American hero.
Well, you should have asked him what fucking temperature that steel was graded to melt at.
Not enough,
Yeah, I guess so.
bro.
Did Javier actually cause all this to happen?
I bet we should have asked
shitty
him.
engineering.
Did you also install the controlled demolition plasma
Yeah.
torches that seem
Actually,
to be?
that's true. If you want to go too deep into it, Javier is definitely dead at this point because they had to kill him.
Maybe.
Yeah.
He probably killed himself at this point. He's probably fucking,
Yeah, well, they probably killed himself like the Clintons killed themselves.
he's probably
Yeah.
sniffing fentanyl out of an underage butthole in fucking 86.
Well, you got to pay extra for that.
Dude, what even is fentanyl? It's just like a morphine on steroids
Well, it's like
that
synthetic.
they're like integrating into the cocaine.
Well, it's basically like
Like,
I mean,
'cause
I'm gonna probably do a terrible job of figuring this out, but basically what it is it's a synthetic opioid. So it's not actually like a derivative of like the poppy plant. What it is they took the chemical compound, synthesized it themselves in a lab,
yeah.
like using fucking science. Yeah, exactly. And then created like something that does the same thing, but is able to be like, 100 times more potent while using like 1/3 of the material, like raw materials.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what it is. I mean, it's the same thing
I
as
just
like.
don't understand. I don't understand why the opioids are making their way into the blow.
Oh, well, it's simply to fucking like increase the like potency of it, So like
Yeah,
that way
but,
they
like,
can
you're not
use.
doing blow. Like you're not doing blow to have opioid experience.
Well, you're having
They're the
you're
opposite.
doing blow in order to have some sort of like chemical response in your brain. They don't give a fuck how it comes about.
Yeah,
you know?
but you're not doing coke, being like, "Hey, man."
Well, now you
like-
are.
But that doesn't make. Yeah, I just don't understand why somebody was like, "Hey, let's take this downer
Yeah,
and put it in this upper."
yeah. Well, because it's cheap. That's why. So you make it so it's cheap. You only have to put in a very little bit in order to like then cut it with like a bunch of fucking
But
baby
still, it's like
laxative and fucking all sorts of other shit, or whatever,
Dude,
So it's like now it's
back-
the shittiest version of cocaine with fentanyl in it.
yeah, but
you
back
know?
in your drug using days, if somebody gave you a bunch of blow and you passed out doing it, you'd be like, "This is the worst." Like if it
This
didn't
blow sucks.
if it didn't manage to kill you, you'd be like, "I'm never buying from this guy again."
Yeah.
So to me, I'm just like, why would you?
What is the benefit of it?
Yeah, like you're
no.
just like counteracting like what the product does.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I think
especially in the lower class world where you're like doing a little bit of blow to like fucking pick strawberries all day.
yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I've definitely put in some good work on fucking pharmaceutical heroin. Don't get me wrong, but
But there's a time and a place,
yeah, you can't be like nodding off in the fields.
Yeah.
Tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong. Yeah.
So what the fuck?
I don't know. Well, I mean, I think also fentanyl has become like more of like a umbrella term for like using all of those because they have like synthetic cannabinoids,
Yeah.
which like they're technically THC based, but it's like it's chemically fucking created THC shit, which actually has more of like an effect that like as crystal meth would or something. Like it's actually more of an upper than it is a downer. So I think fentanyl kind of just has become like this umbrella term where it's just like, oh, well, that had fentanyl in it. And it's like, well, technically it was like this compound that like affects the body in this manner, but yeah, I think it's in everything at this point.
Drugs are bad.
New drugs are bad.
Have you ever done cocaine just on its own?
I've actually never blown cocaine. I've always smoked cocaine.
Wow.
Yeah, I was a woo banger guy.
I don't know what a woo banger is.
Did you sprinkle cocaine on a blunt and smoke the blunt? Yeah. I mean, it's
you've never like taken like a fat rip of blow?
no,
Like, just like
enough coke. No, I used to blow like Adderall and Ritalin and shit, but I never really made the jump to
like
coke.
The same then.
Yeah. Well, again, what you have to consider is that my era of doing drugs was when I was very young. So like, I did not have the money to go out and buy blow. I had the money to go buy like
huffing in the night.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. You know, so I had the money to do like hallucinogens and fucking weed and fucking huffing shit and any other like kind of like cheap drug I could get my hands on. But yeah, I mean, I've been offered crack more than I've been offered coke, like way more times. Yeah.
I've never been offered crack.
Really?
Well, one time I worked at Red Lobster in the hood in Tampa, and this new server from like he was from like Mississippi, Alabama, like Louisiana, like he had like that accent. And he kept asking me, he's like, where's the ice at? Where's the ice at? And I just thought ice meant like good coke. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even think I had the concept of like meth even existing.
Yeah.
Or like why you would even do that. I guess I'm a real like white collar drug user.
Well, like I said,
I've never done no huffing.
Yeah, well, like I said though, like we're kind of like mirror images. You came not late to the drug party, but like later.
No, I
like,
did.
Well, like what in your like early 20s, right?
I didn't do drugs in high school. I only did drug. I just smoked weed in high school.
Right.
You know what I mean? But once I got to college, I was like.
Yeah, so I was doing drugs like in summer going into 8th grade. Like was when I started doing drugs, and not just like smoking weed. I'm talking like that was when I was doing acid, when I was eating mushrooms, and I was like,
That's why you had to get that talk out of the way with the youngest.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's in 6th grade. I'm like, he's like literally 1 year away from this.
We have to start locking our valuables up on like.
Well, when I told my wife that too, she was like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Well, yeah, like that was when it happened for me, you know."
Yeah. You're like, you don't understand the bloodline.
I mean, honestly, whatever. It was just me being impressionable. Honestly, it was, I hate to be the one to do this, but it's like it was all the people I was hanging out with. You know,
I always say that.
So, like, I if I had just kept playing baseball and been like a normal functioning human being, like I probably would have been fine. But I just hung out with like the bad kids, and I was like, "Ooh, these bad kids are fun." So
that's what happened to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
or maybe I was always like the bad kid. I think that's what the problem is.
You kind of just grew into it?
Like, my mom was like, no. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I did drugs and shit just because it was, like, my way of, like, fitting in. I mean, don't get me wrong, drugs were fun, but, like, at the basest reason why I was doing it was the almost pathetic, like, need to just, like, not feel isolated, you know? And that was, like, my way of doing it.
Yeah.
But
I think I was definitely doing when I got into opioids. That was definitely it.
Yeah,
like self-diagnosing my deep dark depression.
Yeah,
at that point,
it's being like, let me rub this fucking Percocet all over that.
Yeah. Well, like when I first started, like when we first probably the first 10 times that we did like ecstasy. Like, that shit was fun, bro.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, ecstasy's fun. Ecstasy is one of the few drugs that I'll, like, go to the mat for, being like, that was actually a really good time.
Yeah. Because I
Everything else,
remember, like, the come down would just suck. Like, you'd just be kind of tired and worn out. Yeah. But you'd still be, like, super nice the next day.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, you come down from, like I remember the first time we tripped, like, we got some, I don't know if I've ever even seen mushrooms of this quality ever again.
Yeah.
Like, these were some fucking bangers for your first time. And I just remember, like, the come down from that. Like, I had to call my like, non-druggy friend from high school.
Yeah.
And be like, yo, I'm so sad right now.
Yeah.
He'd be like, why? I'd be like, well, I ate mushrooms, like, 5 hours ago.
Yeah.
You know, like.
And every emotional receptor in my brain is just completely, like emptied
fried.
at this
I think
point.
I'm going to kill myself. Like, it is over. Like.
Yeah. Mushrooms are kind of fun. I
would want somebody to secretly dose me on them.
Oh, I would fucking hate that. Have I talked to you about that? Like, I'll fucking kill somebody if they dose me. Like, you can't take me on a trip that I'm not ready to go on.
I would want it to be at like an event where maybe drugs were on the table. Like we went to like Burning Man or some shit.
All right,
you know what I mean? Like, I don't want you to dose me like I'm going grocery shopping.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. Like, if I'm like about to like take my kid to baseball practice and then you're just like, hey, just so you know, I just like dropped like 3 hits of acid in your fucking water bottle, I'd be like, I'm gonna fucking murder you.
That's not what I'm talking about. Like, we're already like in Vegas up to no good.
Yeah. All right.
And
that's different though.
And I'm gonna get too anxious about the because I feel like that's what it would be. Like, I would always get all anxious about like either the X or about the come on from tripping.
Yeah.
I just would like work myself
like the anticipation of the beginning. Like when you start to feel it and you're like, how much did I take?
Yeah. Like I'd be like, I gotta throw up to like deal with the anxiety or shit. Like
Yeah, no, that was I never even thought. I forgot all about that. That was like a fun. No, it wasn't fun at all in the moment. But like now that I think about it, it was kind of cool. Like that little anxiety feeling you have, like just after you
what
take
was
it,
it?
it's like, when's it gonna start? You know?
I think one of the first times I did ecstasy too, somebody was like, if you want it to really hit, you should snort it. And I fucking blew that thing and I was like, what
Oh,
the
man.
fuck, dude? Like, why is it so spicy?
Jesus
And
Christ!
I think this is at the point too where like I definitely didn't have the knowledge of like like snorting like a 2-liter cap of
Yeah.
like water to like clear yourself out. And I was just
so you
like,
just took it? Yeah.
yeah, like just for like a half hour, like
Yeah. Oh,
like trying to
God.
get even just doing that now. I feel like my brain was like, I remember,
Yeah.
I remember,
Taking me back to what you did to me.
yeah. It's like remember when you snorted that cat litter Drano
Yeah.
fucking
That's what I'm saying. Like that's
heroin
you know,
combination.
I don't even know if I don't think I ever remember anyone snorting ecstasy. Like to me, it was everyone always just
I
ate
remember
it.
my boy in high school. He was like the one doing ecstasy all the time, like
Yeah.
in high school. And he's like, "Oh, it's the best when you have your girl shove it up your ass for you." And I was like, "What the
Pardon?
fuck, dude? Like, yeah,
Like a ecstasy suppository.
yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it bangs, bro. You put drugs in your butt."
Hey, there's a button up there. You know.
Yeah.
We've established that.
I don't think he was talking about getting his button pushed. Though. I think he was just talking about his like. It wasn't gay if his lady. And I just remember this chick had giant boobs and giant fingernails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
And I just remember being like, cool.
Turned on.
Nah. Nah, because later in my life, this kid ends up burning me. Like,
Oh really?
we're friends enough where he like I had this next door neighbor. We called him Neighbor Dude. And he served in the military in Europe somewhere. So he used to get drugs in the mail like all the time. Like
Right. Getting that like Bosnian
hash.
shit.
Yeah, like cool shit that I never saw again after I lost the relationship with Neighbor Dude. I never saw these drugs again,
Yeah.
So, fuck, well, I don't even know why I started telling this. Oh, so now it's like instead of like, I mean, I don't know if I ever got ecstasy. No, because I started the first time I did ecstasy was from this Neighbor Dude connection.
Yeah.
And I don't know how the hell this kid Jason started coming up here. Like I was friends with him in high school, but I don't ever remember him coming to any other parties. Maybe I just knew he took X, and I tried to make the connection. I was like, let's make some money off this kid or whatever.
Yeah.
But the first couple times he got it on the front, he like left this chain that was like, my grandmother got this for me. And
My grandmama got me this chain.
he found her dead. Like that was his
shit.
traumatic event in high school. But she was like, she found her dead from being old. It's not like she
I mean,
fucking hung herself.
your fucking
like,
grandmother is gonna die.
yeah.
Spoiler
Whatever.
alert.
Sad. But the kid fucking still owes me money, so fuck him.
Yeah.
So he comes up, he leaves this collateral a couple times, and now I'm at the point where like, whatever, bro. Just you know what I mean? And then he somehow something bad happens in like an ex-fueled hotel party or some shit, and now his parents find out that he's like a druggie, and they want to like send him to rehab and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And you have I've seen this happen when people get into trouble with like drugs and stuff. Like they get in trouble, and now like all the money that they owe for those drugs is now the drug dealer's problem because they got in trouble. And it's like, you still owe the money for that debt.
Yeah.
Like, just because you got in trouble
Yeah.
doesn't mean that you don't owe the drug dealer for his fucking drugs.
Yeah, going to rehab is not fucking akin to like declaring bankruptcy.
And it's like this. It's the same thing with jail too. Like that motherfucker that Sam brought up. Like this motherfucker, this dumbass, he stole a boat off the side of a road. Like somebody had a problem. They must have had a problem with the vehicle that was towing the boat. You know what I mean? So they took the boat off the hitch, got the truck towed to wherever, you know what I mean? And in that time, he drove a truck by. I was like, I'm going to steal the boat. Then he tried to take the boat apart and sell the pieces on Facebook Marketplace. And the guy whose boat it was got him set up to get like arrested for stolen property. And because it was worth a certain amount of money, I think it was like
it was grand larceny or whatever the fuck
whatever it was.
Yeah.
So he had to go to jail.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I feel like he has this thing, and he owes a lot of people money, especially out by the tavern where I work. Like that's where he used to be.
Yeah.
He's from that area. You know what I mean? So you'll come across blue collar guys, you bring his name up, they're like, I'm gonna fucking kill that guy. You're like, yo, when you get him, let me know. I'm good for cutting at least one hand off. Like, let me get him.
There you go.
So,
Get your pound of flesh.
Yes. So I don't even know why I started talking about this kid now. My rage has started overcoming. Oh, because he went to jail, so I feel like he thinks, I served my time to society.
Yeah,
it's like, nah,
the fucking...
motherfucker, you owe him those 4 racks, you owe me the 4 racks. Like, you fucking, like, pay your fucking money back, you fucking bum. Like, and then knowing that he had the bread to like get engaged, like, so you bought a fucking diamond ring, but you didn't pay any of the debts back from people that want to cut your fucking hands off, like. It's just crazy to me.
Yeah. I mean, the community service didn't fucking get kicked back to me.
Not
like,
at all.
You picking up trash on the fucking highway didn't pay any of my bills.
I didn't get no fucking tax break at all.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. If that's the type of person that you are, like if I see that type of like activity coming from your brain, 86.
Yeah.
Like you're not on the I recommend you for a job. You're not on the I want to talk to you when I see you at the grocery store. Like fucking beat it.
Yeah. Can you imagine just running into him in the frozen food section?
Oh, dude, I can imagine running into him in the Red Lobster walking and just fucking beating him to death with the bag of king crab legs.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
Got dark.
That got dark real quick.
Yeah.
It got dark in our nicely daylit new window.
Yeah, there we go.
That thing had so many cobwebs in it.
I can imagine. It was stuck behind fucking where did that window come from?
It was just I had a piece of the what do you call it? This stuff over it.
Oh, paneling?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's coming along, man. Look at us. It's gray.
Yeah.
No more shoe boxes. We'll get some fucking decor going on in this bitch.
Yo, I was like cursing this shit out when I took my dad to the World Series games. I was like trying to find like anything with blue or red in it.
Yeah.
I was like, God damn it. And I was like pressed for time. You know what I mean? Because I made the decision to go while I was at work.
Yeah.
Got off work, came home. Then my dogs rolled in shit. So now I had to give 3 dogs a bath.
Yeah.
It was a day.
Well, that sounds like a day.
Yeah. But I made it. Wore my sport blue 3s. They were already dirty.
There you go.
Yep. Yeah, I can't believe I didn't get any the biggest flack I got for wearing a Red Sox jersey to a Yankees World Series game was from the actual people that work
there?
at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the same anymore. Like the hatred just doesn't seem like it's as prevalent in like in the media landscape.
I think we talked about this, but that guy that they interview who fucking like ripped the ball out of Mookie Betts' hands.
Yeah.
It doesn't get any more like New York animal.
Yeah. Than
Yankees fan
him.
than that guy. Like I recommend anybody to go watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you know what else I just thought of? I heard this story. I'm trying to tag one of our friends. I'll tell you afterwards, but I won't put him on blast on the podcast. So I'm trying to tag him in something on Instagram, or not tag him, but send him some reels like I'd be doing. And I'm like, where the fuck is this guy? Like, he's not in my recent shit. I'm like searching his first name, searching his last name. I'm like, and I knew he had recently put out like a bets like Instagram thing. You know what I mean? Like about, he'd come up with like a parlay or something for you to put on. So I'm like, maybe he just converted his regular page into like a business page. You know what I mean? So now I'm looking for this. I can't fucking find this either. So at the end of the day, I just hit share to messages, send it to him on that instead. Because had to see it. You can't be missing reels from me. I'll find a way to
get you one way or another.
I'll find a way to get him to you. So he texted me about something today. I go, bro, did you get caught like cheating with men or something? Like, why don't you have like a social media profile anymore? And he goes, all right. So funny story. I had a little too much to drink. My friend took me to this brewery that he works at. And I had a little too much to drink. He was talking shit about the Patriots. And then I started screaming at him about the Cowboys. And now my friend is in trouble for bringing in that dirtbag guy.
Yeah.
So
what does that have to do with social media?
I guess he shut his social media down because he was afraid. He wants to move out to the mountains now because he's embarrassed about his behavior.
What?
Yeah.
Am I missing something about this story? So he went to.
I think he got hammered. He started talking shit to he started talking shit to a Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
It got out of control, but it was like at his friend's place of work.
Oh, okay.
So it's like you took me to your job, and then I started getting rowdy.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Why would you bring him here? What the fuck?"
Okay.
So then
he just scrubbed his social media presence. Now he's moving to Colorado.
Yes.
All right. Well, I guess we're all on our own journey. Yeah.
And now I can't send him memes, and I don't feel fucking fulfilled anymore. It's not about you. It's about me.
Everybody I ever met that moved out to Colorado, because there was like a period of time where that was like the cool thing to do. Like, I'm moving to Boulder.
Colorado.
Yeah. Well,
you gotta say rad.
Rado.
Bro.
Colorado.
It's rad.
Well, they all just came back addicted to heroin. I don't know what the deal is with that, but like every single person that I knew was like, I'm moving to Colorado. And it's like they'd be back in 4 months with a heavy like heroin addiction.
I mean, it's like gray for like 8 months, isn't it?
I guess.
I went out there. It was gray the whole time.
Yeah.
I went out there with my other New England like maniac friend, and we thought we were going to see the last edition of Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning.
Oh yeah, it was the Broncos game, right? Yeah,
And
that
then
was
we
the
went out-
Osweiler
yeah,
game, right?
We lost in overtime to Brock Osweiler.
Oh, I mean, you know.
And I don't know how I didn't get murdered. Like walking out of the stadium, this guy was like pointing in my face, and I gave him like the biggest fucking like I don't know, like sternum check or whatever.
Yeah.
And like, dude, I felt like I had broke my fucking shit for like 3 months after that. Like, the dude hit the ground. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know how the other Broncos fans
Didn't just circle you?
beat
Yeah.
the fuck out of me. I was like belligerently drunk at that point. Too.
Yeah.
Like, I should have came back from that trip like with my ass beat.
Yeah.
And then
I mean,
like,
they probably would have done you a favor. You probably would have quit drinking a couple years
maybe,
earlier.
yeah,
You know?
yeah,
Like that would have been your rock
that
bottom
would have
moment.
saved Renee a
Yeah.
lot of work. She's like, oh, you could have just got your ass beat in Denver and you would have fixed all of this? Great.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think one of the things that is missing the most from our culture these days are ass beatings.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I feel like 94% of the world's problems today would be solved if that person had just gotten their ass beat like 12 years earlier, you know?
I got my ass beat in my college days and that pretty much shut me up.
Yeah.
Like, I stopped. Like, I was like, all right.
Well, I was
This tunnel does no longer work for me.
I was a wise ass as a kid. I could not tell you how many times somebody just, somebody who like I had no business talking shit to all of a sudden had to just check me. And I was like, all right, never mind. Don't want to be talking shit to you anymore. You know, like that was the way of the world. Now I feel like you just have assholes that are running rampant. You know, it's like everyone needed to have an ass beating when they were like in 8th grade and nobody got one. So this is what happens. You know, this is Biden's America.
Not for much longer.
Well, whatever. It's Trump's America too. It's a bunch of pussies.
Yeah, I'm
Kids these days.
curious to see what really changes.
I mean, nothing, but whatever.
I mean, we just can't kill babies, I guess.
Yeah. Well, that's okay though. We're gonna get our kicks by deporting everybody.
ICE is really going to be running rampant.
Crystal?
No, isn't that what they call? Isn't ICE like some
ICE,
kind of deportation kind of thing?
Okay. Well, I thought we were going back to ICE as in like the ice.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah.
I mean, you go to Meth Mountain, it's still there. You know, all that fucking Rust Belt shit, West Virginia.
Oh my god, dude. There's like a blind rapper who I don't know if he got addicted to meth later on in his career or if it's just like this funny character that he plays, but he just has all these like freestyles about like rolling bowls or rolling globes. I think that's what they call it.
I mean, can he understand shapes and shit as a blind person?
I think you can feel a circle.
Feel him?
Yeah,
that's
I can
true.
feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to, I mean, yo, like, that's crazy.
What,
Like-
being a blind crystal meth addict?
I was just thinking about getting pussy and being blind. It's like, it's all the same. Like, it's all like whatever you imagine it to be.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Like, there's no ugly chicks. There's no fat chicks.
Yeah.
You know? Even if she's fat, it's a titty. Who cares? You know? You don't fucking know.
I mean, you get a fat enough dude, it's all just a titty, you know? Just saying. Sorry.
Nah, I'm like really, really trying to see if blind, could you tell the difference between
man titty or woman titty?
between pussy and butt? No.
Oh, well.
I thought you were going butt, and
Yeah.
you're just saying that.
I mean, that too, I guess.
Oh,
Yeah. Anyway.
what a fucking visual.
Yeah, we'll leave you with that one for the week.
Yeah, this guy's name is Blind Fury. If you want to look him up and imagine him,
Blind
fucking,
Fury?
Yeah.
Imagine him cupping a fat man's breast.
Yes.
Gotcha.
I'm just picturing like something from Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah, that show was fucking weird.
There's a lot of gay stuff.
A lot of
going on
gay
Ren
stuff in
and
that
Stimpy.
show. Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah. A lot of just gross shit too. You didn't think of it when you were a kid, but like looking back on it now, I'm like, I wouldn't let my kid watch that fucking
Yeah,
show.
there's like one episode in particular where they're in like a haunted house.
Yeah.
And they keep using the ghost as like a towel and like all this. Like the ghost is like trying to scare him, but they keep like using him for like something else and shit.
Yeah.
And there's one part where he's like fucking
flossing
wiping the
him.
ghost on like its taint.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, how about this? Do you find yourself to be a victim of excessive crotch rot in this industry?
Well, define excessive.
Like I was going through a period in my life. I'm just coming out of it.
Yeah.
But I had to like medicate myself with like baby oil gel
Yeah.
from
It's
having
like chafing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like chafing like all the way from like where my balls touch my legs,
Yeah.
like my taint, right up to like
You
where
gotta change your underwear.
where my ass crack.
You gotta
would
get
start.
like the runner's underwear kind of shit.
Somebody told me that
Yeah.
Duluth trading company? Do they like that's
I don't know.
the,
My wife buys all
my
my
same boy
underwear
that's
and
flying
shit.
out to they're moving to Colorado out of
Yeah.
embarrassment told me I think about these special underpants to avoid your ass from getting chapped.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
my wife does all my shopping, so without her, I would literally just fall into a fucking mess of just
I
being
only
chafed
wear
all the time.
underpants recommended by Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Like that's
Oh, you do Hanes?
that's
Yes.
it.
In that case, that's 100% your problem.
That's
like
it.
you got to get like the performance underwear. Like I think mine are like Adidas or something. But yeah, like you got to get fucking.
like you need something
'Cause
with
on the
you need
days-
something with a spandex taint.
Yeah. Well, on the days where fucking I have like 3 pairs of this underwear or something. On like the days where like I haven't been able to do laundry and I've worked like 4 days in a row and I have to bust that one out, dude. By the end of the shift, I'm like fucking waddling out. You know? Yeah.
Yeah, like that's what was like happening to me. You know what I mean? I would like get out of the shower and I'd be like, dude, I gotta fucking do something about this. And
Yeah. That's what you got to do. I'm fucking still going through this bar rot shit, man. How did you get rid of this shit?
bro,
Like I fucking.
do you want to know what I had to do? I had to go to a fucking doctor's office.
Yeah.
And I had to give them my hand and act like it was no big deal while they stabbed me with needles and like steroids or some shit into the area of concern.
Yeah. But like, how do you
Like-
do? How do you like? Is it just gone forever now, or like, how do you keep up with it? Like, what are you doing that like is making it not come back?
I told your job to go fuck themselves.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be that.
It's
right?
got to have something to do with
like their
the
chemicals they're using or something.
No, I
or-
don't think it's the chemicals. I think it's just I think it's working in a scratch environment. It's
Yeah.
all of that. It's all of that citrus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you think that you're like wiping your hands off because maybe you have like a dry towel.
Yeah.
But really you're just like rubbing that citrus into the towel.
Yeah.
And then later on, like you think that towel's like, oh, it's dry enough to be doing its thing. Like that's why you gotta like wash your hands more, I feel like. Like you gotta put
Well,
soap.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
Because it's the citrus. It's the citric acid eating away at like
The enamel.
yeah.
Yeah. Fuck. I have it like pretty well because I've just been like lubing my hands up basically with like Lotrimin and
Yeah.
fucking like
Before I
workers' hand shit.
left,
but-
I was putting like this special nail polish on.
yeah.
It was gay. But I would put like Vaseline
Yeah.
on my shit. You know what I mean? So it was like at least it would have like a barrier for like the
Right.
first few hours.
Yeah, but it's gotten like a little bit better, but like not much. And
I mean,
feel like
I don't
it's
know. I don't
spreading.
want to know how graphic you would be, but I had points where like I could like push on my hand. It would be like pussing out of like my
Oh yeah,
my
oh
nail
100%.
bed.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was some of it got to a point to where like I bet you if I just stabbed this with like a safety pin,
Yeah.
I could like because younger in my college days I had that happen to me, and it must have just been like I was fucking fucked up still from the night before or on drugs. But I just took like a fucking tack out of the board and just stabbed myself with it and was just able to clear it all out. It was fucking gross, but like
yeah,
that was
but it went away.
that
Yeah.
was the end of it. I never, maybe
That was also when you were like fucking 19 and like your body
Made
was
out of
just like,
metal.
I can fucking do
Yeah.
anything.
yeah.
It's like now, dude, I'm 40 years old. My fucking elbow was hurt for like a year and a half. You know, it's just like
Yeah.
that's life now.
Yeah, I don't know what my solution was to that because when we came back from quarantine, I had that side hustle going on.
Yeah.
Right. So I was juicing. I didn't have a hand. I didn't have a press. I didn't have an electric thing. We just had the hand juicers.
You were doing that?
My brother and I were breaking down cases of citrus with
Jesus.
hand juicers.
Yeah, that's
Um,
fucking crazy.
But also, we were trying to get the most money that we could out of it. And I've always noticed that with the other stuff, it's like you are taking a bit of a loss.
Yeah.
You know, like unless you're like a good bartender and you like give that rind a squeeze, you're not getting like the full product out of it. So that was my reasoning behind it. Like I was just scared of losing money, I guess.
Yeah.
And then I don't know why I never bought the tool. But now that I have the tool, I would never go back to doing it the other way. But I would, basically I would end up with a point where, I'd have like all this pulp like in like a mesh strainer, and I would just be like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
trying
like
to get
gyrating it through.
trying to get what I could out of it. And it's
Yeah.
like, if you don't wash, obviously I was washing my hands before I was doing that, but if you just do that and just give it like, you
rinse.
just wipe, like, I set myself up for failure. Then we came back to doing it at the spot. You know what I mean? Now I'm like the primary service bar guy. It's like that shit's getting all over me all the time.
Yeah.
Like, the alcohol can't be good for it either.
Yeah.
And then you clean at the end of the night.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
I think I don't know. I think it's
my
got to
shit's like all dried out because we at the airport we have like the triple sink system.
Yeah.
Like from back in the day, you have like that motorized like barmaid spinny thing.
Yeah.
And you're like dunking. You know what I mean? But I do it the other day. I was like, I think I have to buy hand lotion.
Yeah.
My hands are dry.
Yeah.
Like,
I use lotion like 2-3 times a day. Like,
yeah.
Fuck.
I don't know. Just,
That's the business.
yep. All of that for a little bit of tax evasion.
Yeah, pretty much.
Not for Brennan, though.
Not for
He
me.
doesn't do that. He fully declares.
Yeah, absolutely. Although it sounds like we're going to be getting no income tax on our tips soon.
Yeah.
We'll see what that
about,
means.
We'll see about that, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we talked about us being skeptical on that.
I'm very skeptical. I'm always
Yeah.
skeptical of people who are like trying to help me.
Yeah. For what?
Yeah, exactly. What are you getting out of
You're
this?
up to no good.
Yeah. Anyway.
You're up to no good. I know Mother Teresa was a child sex trafficker.
Oh man. I wish we had like a fucking big board of like all of the ongoing like Ryan Wilk like conspiracies, so that we could like go back to it and fact check them.
It's gonna be big one day. I'm gonna be the next Alex Jones.
Yeah. I mean, just frog people.
Yeah, I mean, you know what though? The guy who I got the Mother Teresa thing from is the Rush Limbaugh dude.
Yeah. So I mean, I
So-
feel like a lot of these crazy ones are kind of coming from one source. Like just
Yeah, but yeah, that's the thing. But it's kind of like me being mad at Linkin Park. Like you tricked me at first, thinking that you were kind of like more metal and not
Yeah.
crying about your girlfriend than you really were. And I was like, all right, these guys are cool. And this guy, he got me. I was like, all right, like the Doors, the Rush Limbaugh thing could be true.
Yeah.
I've always been. He's not a flat earther. He is humans only have access to a certain part of the overall globe. Like
Yeah.
that's like flat Earth 102, if you will.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So, but also flat Earth, if you get into it, it's like you're also kind of like saying that a lot of the stuff in the Bible, like the firmament and stuff like that, exists and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. All I'm saying is like he had bangers. He had like his first three were like bangers, and I was like, all right, I can fuck with this guy.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
But
you
after that, it's a lot of filler.
reaching for content. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, he throws out that like Michael Jordan like lost his team because his investment group like bet on GameStop or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, now he's like trashing my boy too.
I mean,
Fuck.
that to me sounds like one of the only things like that he's come up with that even seems reasonable. Like,
Yeah.
I could be like, oh yeah, maybe that did happen.
We had
Yeah.
a movie before about Michael Jordan, how it was like no coincidence about all the sixes.
Yeah.
And it's like the devil. Like,
Michael Jordan's a Satan worshiper.
well, he's like part of the Illuminati, and they put like sixes in everybody's face all the time and
Yeah.
stuff.
You know, because all those Illuminati, all they're doing is just daring us to find out about them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you got to go through like 47 levels of Freemasonry before you get to like Illuminati.
Illuminati
1.
level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Fair
just like Scientology is just trying to copy them.
yeah. My grandfather was a Freemason.
Scientology is just fucking Pepsi Freemasonry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My grandfather who helped kill the Nazis.
I was going to say, is it the same? Ooh.
Yeah, same one. Yeah.
Ooh. Dude, it is unbelievable that you don't believe in any conspiracies. The tap water really is
it's
doing
strong.
its thing with you,
Strong.
bro. Yeah.
I don't know, man. He was like I think he was in it just because it was like a social club thing, like back in like the 60s or whatever. Like he was like in it because he like fucking was a master electrician, you know, like, and then his buddies were in it too. They showed up though to his funeral and it was fucking weird shit. Like it was like, they had like bells and shit and like, you know, some, yeah.
And a mask made from a raven's beak.
Oh man, that would have been funny.
It was weird. They came to his funeral and reenacted a scene from Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah.
I'd never
One of
seen
them
anything
was
like it
dressed as a
before.
goat, and another one
Yeah.
was fucking a 13-year-old girl. You know? Yeah, I don't know what kind of rituals they were into,
I
but
asked him what his name was, and he said Javier.
anyway, yeah, we should join the Masons. Just start infiltrating.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder how that works. I'm like a legacy, right?
I feel like they,
Yeah.
like in the same way that like Shane Gillis's podcast got him fired from SNL, I'd be like at the induction ceremony, they'd be like, "We found your podcast, and you guys, you're not allowed here anymore."
Yeah. You talk about pedophiles too
Dude,
much.
what about like if you like just went to like a normal like they're not, what do you call like those like beer halls that like old men?
Masonic lodges. Well, like, are you talking about like their headquarters or what?
No, but isn't there like there's like a lot like there's like a lodge that you pay like a fee, and it's
Yeah.
like beers are like $1.
Yeah,
and
it's
where
like
all
a
the
men's
old-
club kind of thing, or
Yeah, but-
Elks Lodge.
An Elks Lodge,
Yeah.
yeah. So if you went to like an Elks Lodge, right?
Yeah.
But just under the premise of like you're never gonna break the character that you're here for Freemasonry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you just have like these old guys eventually just get so
Tie you into it? Yeah.
No, but they just get so sick of you. They're like this is not what it is. And you're like,
This
listen,
is different.
I
Yeah.
don't know what I got to do to get you guys to tell me.
So you show up to
I
the
just want to be in the club. Yeah,
you show up to the Elks Club basically like in a fucking loincloth with like a fucking like a cow head on your head. Yeah. You come basically dressed as like the bad guy. Well, actually, never mind. You wouldn't get this. Temple of Doom? No.
No.
Yeah, never mind. You got to watch the fucking Indiana Jones movies, man.
Are
like
they really that great?
Yeah, 30% of my references are from Indiana Jones movies.
I just think I know the thing about snakes.
Yeah. He hates them.
I hate fucking spiders way more than I hate snakes.
I don't know. I think I'm pretty cool with spiders. Spiders kill other bugs. Yeah.
Like if somebody would put a fucking tarantula on
no,
you.
I don't. Like there's a place for spiders and it's fucking outside. Like don't come come in my house and don't come on me.
Like
yeah.
I would pick up a snake.
Don't come on me, spiders.
Nice.
But yeah, I wouldn't pick up a snake. Who the fuck wants to pick up a snake?
I would.
Ugh. My brother owned a snake. Actually, my brother owned a snake and he was like what are the fuck, I don't know what they're called, like a corn snake, I think they were. It was like an orange snake. But you would feed him a fucking mouse, though. And, usually you threw the fucking mouse in and, like, you would fucking, it'd be like maybe a couple seconds of, like, the mouse, like, kind of frantically trying to get away before you would just fucking, get that motherfucker and just wrap him up, fucking squeeze him, and then just eat him. One time, though, we fucking put the mouse in, right? And, it's the usual shit where, like, the snake's kind of sizing him up. He's kind of moving in. And the mouse all of a sudden gets the idea to just start burrowing under all the fucking wood chips. So he just burrows in under there. And he's like at the bottom. You can see him because it's like a glass tank. You see him like on the side, like underneath all the fucking wood chips. And the snake's just kind of like chilling on the top, just like waiting and waiting. This goes on for hours. And we're like, all right, well, I guess he's not today. He's not going to, they'll eat him tomorrow, I guess. You wake up the next day, the fucking mouse is still under the fucking wood chips. Snake still hasn't gotten him. All right, well, that's weird. Give him another day, I guess. Next day, the mouse is now just up in the fucking cage, like chilling with the snake. They've like developed some sort of like, he like respected him, was like, well, I mean, hey, you win, man. I'm not going to eat you now because you've been in here for so long. Like, I respect your game. So now it's like fucking day 3.5 of this snake not only not eating, but this mouse, he's just like letting coexist in his fucking cage. We had to like literally take the fucking mouse out, set him free, and then get another one. And then he ate the fucking other one like in 3 seconds flat. It was just fucking wild to watch. It was like literally like, it was two foes like going toe to toe. And it was like, they just ended up being like, almost like a, like Gotti Ward, where at the end of their battle, they were just like, they respected each other too much to like actually go through with it. It was fucking crazy.
It's like, what's like the wrestling scenes of like Shawn Michaels when he like kicks Ric Flair?
Yes. Yeah. He goes, I'm sorry. That he kicks him. Well, it'd be that, except he didn't actually.
Yeah. He like leaves.
They were
like,
just
I'm
like,
not doing it.
All of a sudden they just became the odd couple. It's like, we're just going to fucking live in this fucking little cramped ass cage forever.
Yeah. One of my best friends, and he's still one of my best friends now, but he's
fuck this kid. That's my hot take.
Fuck you, Peter.
Yeah.
So
you fucking loser.
Growing up, his dad always had he bred birds. Like he had like all these like
a pigeon coop kind of thing.
Nah, like what? Give me some kind of other bird, like a little. They're like
sparrows, hummingbirds.
You buy them at like a pet store. Like,
parakeets.
I think it's like the thing from Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah,
whatever, right?
Yeah, parakeet, like a little like cockatoo looking thing.
Yeah, so he's got like a 3-season room. This is in Florida, right? So he's got like a room outside, and like one whole wall is just like, I don't even know what it is, like plywood and like like the metal mesh caging, you know what I mean? And each thing has like a little box in it, you know what I mean? And I guess like, these birds have traits that you can like breed for.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's like he's trying to make,
Trying to make the most annoying fucking bird in the world?
No, it's more about colors, bro. Like you're trying to get like all baby blue or all yellow or all whatever, right? So that's like the house that my boy Peter grew up in. So then later on, I go down. I think I go down to see him get married, and we go in his garage, and he's got the same thing going on, but with snakes. And his whole garage, like one whole wall is like snakes, and another whole wall is like mice that he like breeds to like feed to the snakes. And some of these snakes can go for big money because they have like these, I forget what kind of snakes they are, but it's the same thing with like the colors or the patterns or whatever that are on them. And if you get them that to have like 7 colors or 7 patterns or some shit, I forget what it is, but you get like a lot of bread from it. Like there's like a viral video about a guy going ape shit on police because they like come in and kill a snake, and like that snake had like the genealogy.
With like 12 G's.
Yeah, no, way more than that. Like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Shit.
Yeah, so that's just kind of like a side hustle that he had like gotten into.
Yeah.
You know, and like I went down there and I was like, oh, this is cool. There's a picture of me with like holding two big ass snakes.
Yeah.
No problem. No problem. There's nothing you could like. I would probably suck a dick before I would pick up two tarantulas and like hold them up like that.
I mean, I gotta bring my 2 tarantulas next week then.
Like I think I would die. I would die. I would die of fear or shock. Like my brother had a tarantula as a pet.
Yeah. That was during that era of like arachnophobia. Was that why?
Yeah, I can't even watch that. And honestly, like I think I was just moving to Florida.
Yeah.
And like they got some real spiders down there, bro. You see that shit and you're like, what the fuck?
So I'll say this. My not hating spiders is definitely colored by the fact that I live in the Northeast. You put me in like the Southwest or whatever, like Arizona, where you have like fucking spiders that fucking kill you.
Yeah.
Like then nah, I'm not cool with that at all. It was something like I don't know the exact stat, but it was like every fucking house in Arizona has like a venomous spider within like 25 feet of their front door.
I bet, yeah.
Like fuck that. Fuck that.
Like
so, yeah,
they got like big hairy spiders, like brown hairy spiders, and shit. I remember one of the first childhood friends that I made, like in the area that we moved to.
Yeah.
They'd be like all over like the siding on his house, so you'd have to like walk. You know what I mean? Like you only had like what, like a 3-foot walkway or whatever. Like they'd have, like the concrete would go up to his door, and there'd be like a little like decorative fence or whatever that framed that out. And I'd be like, dude, I don't fucking want to go there. And
I'm not coming to your house. Open your fucking window. That's when I'm coming in.
This dude would have like the gall to like walk up to the house and just bang on the spider with his hand. I'd be like, this is the wildest place. I hate it here. I want to go home.
I want to go.
Florida's the worst. What are we doing?
You know what though? That's why those people are so fucking weird in like those areas of the country. It's because we're not supposed to be there. We're just not.
Dealing with spiders, snakes, crocodiles, fucking bugs, bro. Like
the entire environment is designed to kill you. Yeah. Oh yeah. Bugs are the worst.
Bugs in Florida at nighttime, bro, when they all come out.
Yeah.
It's the fucking worst, dude.
Yeah.
I fucking hate that shit. I hate fucking bugs.
Yeah.
I'd rather be in a tank of snakes than a tank of any kind of bug all day long.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, easily. Yeah. Like centipedes and shit, and like
unless it's like ants. I don't mind an ant.
Well, I mean red ants, like fire ants. You fucking mind that shit. Yeah.
Those are bad, dude.
Yeah. You fucking get bit by one of those, it fucking hurts.
Dude, you don't just get bit by one.
Yeah, you get bit by 1,000 of them. Yeah.
Those, you don't want to fuck with those, bro.
Yeah.
They got other fucking bugs. Like, if you live in Florida too, like part of like your chores, it's like a child living there is like the windstorm comes through or whatever, you got to go pick up like all the palm fronds that fell off the thing. And a lot of times they'll have these they look like ants from like the giant world in Mario. And they got these fucking pinchers on them, bro. Yeah. Dude, they will fucking get you. So I remember my brother got bit by one. He's probably only like maybe 9 years old at the time. Yeah. And that thing fucking swelled up. I was like, yo, he's going to die from like a fucking bug bite, dude. Like, holy shit. But it was like instant. You know what I mean? Like, got bit, turned red, started swelling. I was like, probably take this motherfucker.
It's fucking lights out for you, pal.
Yeah, like.
Started asking him about like the toys he has. Like, hey, can I play with those actually when you're dead?
Yeah. Florida's got crazy. They get like a fucking grasshopper like infestation every year too.
Really?
Yeah.
That's surprising. I feel like those things would get wiped out by all of the other fucking asshole bugs.
The locusts come through. Yeah.
Or like cicadas, that kind of shit.
I don't know what they are. They're like yellow fucking grasshopper looking things. I just remember my brother would like go out in the yard and he could literally occupy himself for hours just like fucking killing them. You know what I mean? Because they would eat up, like, my mom and my brother, they planted, like, all these fucking flowers and shit. Like, that's what she had him doing, like, was her little
And he's killing them with his bare hands?
Garden assistant. Yeah. That's
just, like, ripping them in half?
Yeah.
I think your brother needs to talk to somebody.
I don't know. I don't think he will talk to anybody.
Oh, just saying. That's kind of serial killer behavior.
Yeah, well, no. You got to be killing rodents, at least.
Yeah, I mean, it's like step one.
They're not even in the same Kingdom Philomortar class. You're good.
You're good?
Yeah.
All right.
What are bugs even? They're in their own thing?
I have no idea. Biology and like science and shit was never my strong suit.
No?
No. Don't let the glasses fool you. I'm a fucking idiot.
I mean, it's just about like remembering silly trivia.
Really, yeah, but I was never good at that. Like I'm better.
The
at,
autism shines strong with me on that.
Yeah, well, I'm better at like learning, like even in history, like learning dates and shit. I'm fucking terrible at that. But like I can understand like what happened, but like I don't fucking know what day it happened on. It's the same thing with fucking chemistry. Like chemistry, but I almost didn't graduate fucking high school because of chemistry.
I fucking hated chemistry, bro.
Well,
I
was always like the kind of person to put everything off till the end. So while everyone else senior year was like dicking around because they had like done all their hard classes, I was the guy who my freshman year was like taking like intro to theater because I was like, this is gonna be a fuck around class, you know. But then senior year came around and I was like, oh, fuck, I got to like pass like 5 of these classes. Otherwise, I'm not going to graduate because they were like core curriculum classes. And one of them was chemistry. And like going into the final, like my chemistry teacher was like, if you don't get a fucking 88 on this shit, you're going to fail this class. And let me tell you, like, I don't see how it's possible for you to get a fucking 88 on this. And like I did, I'd like fucking 3 days before, I was just like nonstop Adderall, Ritalin, studying all fucking day and night for this thing. And I literally got, I think, an 88.5. So it was like I did it by the fucking skin of my teeth because otherwise I wasn't even going to graduate on time. Like I was going to have to go back.
Did it by the over.
Yeah, I mean, it's like basically like I got like one bonus question right, and that was the reason I fucking graduated high school.
The teachers are like sitting there in the lounge betting on it, and they're like,
"Dude, smart money would have been against me."
Let me grade the test one more time. I don't believe this 88.5.
Nah, I my back against the wall. I could do good things, but unfortunately, I put myself in that position a lot.
Yeah,
I didn't in high school.
Mine was always math. I don't know. I got through chemistry. I don't know how. But like once they started putting the math and the science, I was like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's like
I was having a good time until you did this.
Yeah.
I was having a great time with my silly little trivia stats.
Well, math I always sucked at so bad, and I would always just make it a note to like get in good with the teacher early. So I would always then just like go to be like, oh, I need extra tutoring, and as long as you like showed a desire to learn, like they would just be like, I'll give you a fucking C.
Dude, I would like throw tantrums in that, like when like factoring.
Yeah.
You know what factoring is, like in algebra?
Yeah.
Like when they started breaking that out, I would be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
How do you want me to figure this out?
Yeah.
Like still to this day, I don't think I can figure out how you start the factoring process. So I threw such a fit that they put me in like this remedial math class where I had like all these truth tables, like if P then Q and all this shit with like Venn diagrams and stuff. And I'm like, yo, this is not any fucking easier. Like, do you want me to graduate or not?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? So
5 times 5 is 25. There you go. That's all I need to know.
I got like a C in that. And then like the next part of that, I think became like a little easier or whatever. And I was like, all right, I'm coasting.
Yeah.
And to like your point though, I didn't have, all I needed was that math credit, and everything else I was taking was like earth, space science, marine biology,
Asian studies. It's like
like I had like a couple like digital publishing classes.
Yeah,
like shout out to my boy Vince. He passed away early in his life from like some weird heart condition, but we had some good times in digital publishing.
All right.
Another time, my boy Peter, who was the one with the birds and the snakes growing up.
Yeah.
He so we had all this like stock like photos that you could manipulate. This is like using Photoshop and shit for like art classes, you know? So my boy Peter, he finds this picture of an old couple laying in bed together. He draws a dick on the old man, coming on the old lady's face, and like some thought bubble of like something to the effect of like, I hope she doesn't try to give me a kiss or something, right? So we're on a network, right? So the teacher can like see what we're doing.
Yeah.
So literally, like as soon as Peter finishes like what he's doing, you hear that, and the teacher had like this distinctive like gargle of a voice, like Mr. Jordan, and my boy's like, Mr. Wendell, I found this filth on my computer.
Can you believe what's here?
He's like, I can't even believe it. He's like, I've been watching you make that filth for the last 20 minutes. Yeah. And so now he's got to go, and his family was very Christian.
Yeah.
And so he had to go home, and like, him and his dad.
And explain the coming on the face?
Yeah, so him and his dad had to go to a class together multiple times about appropriate computer usage or something like that.
Oh,
like,
my God. If ever one of my kids did something and made me have to go to a fucking class, I would fucking kill them. Yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah.
This is another great story. We used to do nutmegging a lot. You know what that is? Where you turn your boy's backpack inside out and you like zip it back up.
No, but I love that.
It's fucking great. Yeah. So he does that to this kid. He's like on the weightlifting team playing football. This is probably an example of roid rage.
Yeah.
Right. And this is in a time
where guy you don't nutmeg. Yeah.
Well, he was a set of twins, and they were funny. They were like comedians in the lunchroom. But I think he's probably getting into it at this point. He's sick of getting nutmegged, and my boy does it to him. And we're in portables at the time because they're doing like construction on the school. So like every classroom is like a fucking
it's in a trailer.
Yeah. So my boy's like, I'm fucking tired of this. He like fucking opens the fucking side door and then throws my boy's bag out the side of the thing, like right in the middle of the class. You know what I mean? So now they both get like sent to the principal's office or whatever. And my boy rides a motorcycle at this point. So he just leaves. He goes to McDonald's and gets food
Yeah.
and then comes back for like the next class. And then never even puts like 2 and 2 together of people being like, where'd you get the McDonald's from? Like, not only did you not report to the principal's office about this,
but you got yourself lunch. Yeah.
and you left school like with no pass or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So all within like a 10-day time span, this kid's like very religious family has to deal with him like just breaking
Completely
all of
fucking
these
around.
rules.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it had to be a good time.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure he turned out fine.
He's the man.
Yeah, there you go.
His mom was like the cool mom that was like, you can smoke weed, but you got to stay at the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I think all the cool parents that I knew growing up, like they'd fuck their kid up. Like all of them ended up I'm thinking of one in particular where did I tell you the story where he like got out and he like messaged me on Facebook? That kid.
Of jail?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He he's like, I just got out of jail for the past 4.5 years. What are you up to? It's like, dude, you're fucking shouting me out of my wall on Facebook. Like,
I'm like continuing to avoid you.
Exactly. I have nieces and nephews who I don't want to know. Like, I fucking know people who went to jail for 4.5 years.
Before you went to jail, I was actively avoiding you, and I'm going to continue this streak.
Yeah. How's your dad doing who used to smoke weed with us when we were like 14 years old?
Yeah.
You know? It's like, your fucking parents are weird, dude. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like as a parent, you need to have that, like, all the good parents I knew growing up were like, you know, they knew what was up, but they also were like, not here. Like, do it in the woods, like everyone else does. You know?
No, I mean, these guys both, they joined the army. They made good men out of themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good for
I don't
them.
feel like they fucked them up.
Yeah.
If anything, they set them up to be fuck ups by just being like, we don't have any advice to give you or any college money to offer you, so figure it out on your own. And
you know,
like,
how
"All right, we'll
parents
do
are
it,"
supposed to look out for your future? Well, I'm not, so good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. They figured it out.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Look at that. Who would have thought?
Yeah. All right. I don't think I have anything else. I don't know. I gotta go to a wine tasting. For what? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. What, are you going to smell it?
Yeah, pretty much. I have to just go there and be like, cool.
I mean, I feel
love
like
reading about this shit.
I'm like of the point where I could like swig wine and just spit it out because I've had the great awakening of like, this is bad for me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, I could take a sip of, like I said, I've never been like an addict, but it was just one of those things where I don't drink to excess. But if I wanted to, I could like have a couple sips, but whatever.
I think it's all kind of like, you could just literally be like, just give me the paper with the tasting notes.
Yeah,
and I'm just,
exactly.
That's it. Like, oh, do you taste cherry in this one? Great, because that's what they told me it says that you're going to taste.
Yeah.
So,
well, whenever something like this gets planned where it's optional means that it's mandatory for Brennan.
Yeah.
So that's what that means. So here I am. I love it. Can't get enough of this shit.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
You know, Justin Timberlake wrote that?
No.
Yeah. That's Justin Timberlake wrote ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I
can hear it now that I said it out loud.
Yeah, that was like his In Sync days. He gets paid. He used to get paid like millions of dollars a year because of that.
Did you see that I sent you on Facebook Marketplace if somebody has an official Ronald McDonald?
Yeah, I responded to it. Like, whoever owns that, like 1,000% was murdering people in it. Like, I think
that adds value. If it has bodies on it, bro.
Dude, it definitely does. It was like a fucking, like a plastic jumpsuit of like a fucking McDonald's, like Ronald McDonald outfit.
It's like this. Why is the serial number scratched off of it?
Well, I know you've never seen this movie, but I'm gonna try anyway. Have you seen American Psycho? Like Christian Bale?
Yeah.
Where he dons like the plastic overcoat thing over his suit and he fucking murders the guy with the axe. Same exact scenario, except it's a fucking Ronald McDonald's outfit. That's what you sent me. For $150 too. Like, the fuck does this guy think this is? You know?
Facebook Marketplace.
I mean, come on. I get that you can only go down in price, but like you can't start at $150.
Bro, you want to know a funny thing that happened to me on Facebook Marketplace?
What?
So my buddy sends me. I'm really trying.
Is this gonna be a gay story?
Nope. I'm really trying hard not to get back into participating in having a cool car.
Okay.
It's been really important to me that I have a cool car.
Yeah. You want to have
for a long time.
Now you
want
to be sensible and
yes. Now I want to have the opposite of a cool car. I just want something that's good on gas. It gets me from point A to point B. Like, I'm trying to remove myself from the conspiracy of materialism. You know what I mean? But I can't stop. I've had like
Can't stop, won't stop.
I've had all the other SVT models except for the Ford Raptor. So I'm always on Facebook Marketplace
Looking
like,
for a Ford Raptor?
Yeah, let's see if I can find like $25,000 Ford Raptor. It's got the 6.2 liter. If you're a bit of a apocalyptic person, the 6.2 liter was developed to win the races in Baja. So it's made to like take a beating.
Yeah.
Whereas now there's all this planned obsolescence in motors where they have timing belts instead of timing chains, and things that used to be made out of hardened steel are now made out of plastic.
Right, so that they break and degrade.
So yeah, the 6.2 liter that Ford put out in the Raptor is just, if you want to buy a motor that's never going to die on you, that's something you should look out for. So if part of me still says, let's prepare for the apocalypse and get this truck. So my boy sends me a link for a Raptor, right? And I respond to it. Well, I think I'm responding to him. And I say, yeah, whatever. I think it was like $48,000. That's not what I'm trying to spend at all for like a 78,000 mile example. So that's what I said. I said, 78,000 miles for 48 grand. Like, I'll pass. So I think I'm sending it to my boy that sent it to me. That I respond to the ad with that.
Gotcha.
So now the person's like
yo, fuck you.
Yeah, nobody fucking wants your opinion, you fucking loser. You probably can't even afford this truck anyway. And instead of like normal Ryan being like, I'm going to find out where this person lives and track them down and kill them because this is their fault now, I was like, hey, man, I don't want to spread any negativity in the world. I meant to send this to the person who sent me the link for the truck, not to you. And then they never even were like, all right, no worries.
Yeah.
No harm, no foul.
Well,
so I try to be a nice guy back after being like, fuck you and your overpriced piece of shit. But yeah.
I find a lot of times, though, like the people that are like the most angry in whatever on the internet, that's the exact response they don't want. Like when he typed that, he was hoping somebody else would come like over the top and be like, oh, yeah, well, fuck you and everyone in your family. Mom's a fat fucking bitch, you know, like. That's what he wanted. He didn't want somebody to be like, hey, my bad, man. I didn't mean to actually do that.
That wasn't for you.
Yeah, exactly. You probably ruined his day by doing that. Like,
you know what? I'm gonna send him a picture of the fucking guy from COVID just to make his
big dick. Yeah. Click on this link. There's another fucking Ford Raptor. That's priced $3,000 less.
Because that's what it was during quarantine, right? It'd be something desirable.
Yeah. Well, it was just my brother-in-law was the king of sending me it, and he got me like 7 times with it. But it would be like a link that said something like New York Mets exploring some blockbuster trade. I'd be like, oh, word. And I'd click on it and just be a big fat dick. And I'm like, God damn it.
Damn it. That guy's dead. R.I.P.
Oh, that dude?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I mean, did he die from fucking all of the blood going to that fucking hog?
Probably.
I mean, that fucking thing was
I don't remember it being like an overdose or anything. He probably just had like a stroke at 50 like all black guys do. You're probably like, having a giant hammer that you're inflating 3 times a day probably puts a toll on your heart.
Yeah, exactly.
Your heart and your brain.
You need to say cardiovascular.
Your brain's been running at like 60% capacity of the blood that it needs to fucking...
As the blood courses through your fucking 11.5-inch dick.
Like, why does this guy only ever think about fucking? It's like all of the stuff that he needs for his brain to operate properly is stuck in his cock.
Yeah. Well, hey, go hard or go home.
Yeah. Emphasis on hard.
Yeah.
All right, Brendan's got to go pretend to drink wine.
Yep, there you go.
Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment.
Yep.
I'm like the only guy commenting. Let's go.
Let's go.